like about when he was president, pre-COVID?
I think his policy was. I think his policy was trash. He didn't really accomplish anything. His major agenda didn't really do anything. He didn't even really get his major agenda positions passed. He appointed like super crazy conservative Supreme Court justices, which have decimated many aspects of this country, many individual rights. He incited an insurrection on January 6th, denied the results of the 2020 election, and mishandled the COVID pandemic, a variety of things like that.
Co-parter, Harry.
What?
I said co-parter.
Do you have like an actual response, or are you just going to say some stupid shit?
Yeah, I have a response. What do you think about the Tax Cut and Jobs Act?
So do you have nothing, no response to what I just said? Just generally? Yeah, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act sucked, by the way.
Off of conspiracy theories and bullshit.
I don't know what I just said was a conspiracy theory, but
that Trump is the reason for January 6th.
He is the reason for January 6th.
Denying an election that clearly has fraud.
He did deny an election. He did deny the election that he lost.
Yeah, keep buying into the mainstream media, bud.
It's not the mainstream media. It's Donald Trump's own FBI director, Donald Trump's own attorney general, Donald Trump's own secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, 60 different courts, many of which Donald Trump appointed the judges, 14 exactly. There was 2 data mining firms that Donald Trump hired that were independent groups outside of the legal system and the federal government. They both looked into it. They've concluded that there was no fraud. So I'm just curious, like, where is this evidence that is not being shown in the mainstream media? Because Donald Trump's own people are telling him it wasn't stolen.
You're not going to find it in the mainstream media.
I didn't ask whether you're going to find it in the mainstream media or not. I asked what's the evidence.
Why have I not seen it in the mainstream media? Because you're not going to find it.
I asked what is the evidence that the mainstream media is not showing? Like, what are you talking about?
You got to go look for it.
What's the evidence?
Court cases, they found 300,000 ballots of.
It's just not true.
Bullshit. It is true.
It's just not true.
You don't want to believe it.
I'm sorry, that's just not true. There have been over 60 court cases that Donald Trump and his allies brought. They lost every single one of them. By the way, again, 14 of those judges were appointed by Donald Trump. So are those judges now treasonous? And is Donald Trump appointing treasonous judges?
Look, dude, nobody's going to sit here and say that the election was stolen. That would completely bring about an uproar.
You are.
No, I'm saying no judge, no court case is going to rule in favor of that. Why? Because it's going to bring about an uproar. Are you kidding me?
Why? That's literally their job. And if there's evidence, it's their job. And if there's evidence of a fraudulent election, the Trump team would just keep appealing to a higher court. And one court is going to rule in Donald Trump's favor if there's evidence. But there's literally no evidence.
No, there literally is evidence.
No, there's not.
Dude, yes, there is. There's clear.
Really? Then what's your source on this 300,000 ballot thing?
Georgia ongoing case. You can go look it up.
Wait. What's your source? Go ahead. Look, swipe up out of TikTok and go find it.
Court cases in Georgia.
Swipe up out of TikTok and go find it.
They're live streamed, dude. You can look at the actual court live.
Really?
It's wherever you want to go find it.
What's your source? I'm asking you to go find a source. So swipe up out of TikTok and go find it.
Jeez, bro.
I know. Finding evidence for things is so tough.
No, it's actually insane that you're talking about live court cases ongoing. You want me to go find a source for a live court case?
Yeah, I mean, I just looked up 300,000 fake ballots in Georgia, and literally nothing's coming up.
You're probably searching Google. You got to go 5 pages deep in that bias shit.
Oh, here we go. Are you talking about 380,000 missing ballots?
There's probably many others of the same case.
Yeah, it's inaccurate to describe ballot images as missing since ballot images weren't required to be kept under state law at the time. Ballot images scanned on election day were indeed not retained, but the state retained ballot images from a recount in addition to the original hard copy ballots. Ballots from the 2020 election have been recounted several times in Georgia, and the results have confirmed to be accurate. It's a fact check on what you were just saying right there.
Yeah, anybody can count fake ballots. Doesn't mean that dead people.
So what's your evidence that the ballots are fake?
Dude, there's people on video even submitting 4 or 5 ballots at a time.
In some states, people can drop in ballots of their family members. So, like, for example, you don't need like your mom, your brother, your friend, your daughter to all go drop in ballots. You can just like take them all at once and drop them in if you're like the father of the family. That's legal. And that makes sense. I don't know why you'd be against that.
Dude, you're insane. So
you just don't have any evidence for your claim. And so like you can't just like live in ignorance for your entire life. It's super weird how you guys just double down on complete nonsense, right? Like there's literally no evidence for a fraudulent election, yet you double down and double down and double down. It's like you have the worst confirmation bias ever.
All right, let's move past that. What do you think of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act?
Bad.
Why?
It didn't do anything to help the economy.
It
Matter of
actually
fact,
substantially helped the middle class.
really? How so?
The IRS put out a report in 2021 that showed the middle class was benefited 15 times more than the top 1% was. Average was about $6,000.
The IRS put out a report?
Yeah, directly from the IRS.
IRS says middle class benefited 15 times more than the wealthy. Let's see. So we have an opinion piece from The Hill.
An opinion piece?
An opinion piece, yeah. No, like, do you know
Dude,
what an opinion piece?
every fact you get is an opinion piece.
No, do you know what an
opinions.
Do you know what an opinion piece is?
I know that people, every single article you read from.
All right, so you don't know what an opinion piece is. Okay, gotcha.
Is considered an opinion piece. But the data is pulled from the IRS.
Yeah, that's an opinion piece is somebody's like argument, their own opinion on a matter, not like an actual factual report on something. So
that article pulls data from the IRS and breaks it down for you.
It's this person's interpretation of the data. It's like one person's interpretation of the data. This is not like a comprehensive study. Matter of fact, when you look this up from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, the 2017 Trump tax. This is a study, an actual study, not whatever the hell you just cited. The 2017. And by the way, it wasn't a report from the IRS. It was an opinion piece from the Hill.
Click on the damn report.
I did. It's an opinion piece from the Hill. It's not.
Every single thing in it is from the IRS.
No, listen up. Listen up. Listen up. It's not. It's an opinion piece written by somebody in the Hill. This is not a report from the IRS. You said it came directly from the IRS. That's not what that means.
Data came from the IRS.
That doesn't mean that it comes directly from the IRS. Somebody can cite data from something. That does not mean that said article came from the IRS. Now, on Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, this is an actual study saying, quote, the 2017 Trump's tax law was skewed to the rich, expensive, and failed to deliver on his promises. There's also a study done by a Democratic and a Republican economist. And they found that it was only going to increase GDP over time by 0.02% and actually was going to lower after-tax income for the lowest earners in America. So
that's a biased piece as well. Not good.
A Republican and a Democratic economist is a biased piece?
What's the difference in a guy pulling facts from the IRS and stating it clear as day that you refuse to click on it?
One's a study and one's an opinion piece. I keep forgetting that you don't know what an opinion piece is, but one like a study is like an actual comprehensive look at the data, whereas an opinion piece is somebody giving.
It's pulled data from the IRS.
That is not a study. A study is like actual like modeling and looking at the data.
That's not models in it. Click on the link.
That's not. I literally. It's an article in the Hill. It's an opinion piece in the Hill.
And
it's an opinion piece in the Hill. It's an opinion piece in the Hill. Do you not know what an opinion piece is?
Do you not know what that is?
It has biased language, such as congressional Democrats have argued that one of the best ways to pay for legislation is to raise taxes on wealthy households, which, according to many on the left, have benefit. Like, this is incredibly biased. Do you not hear the biased language in this?
I mean, it's pretty easy to be biased when facts are facts.
Then what are the facts, man? Tell me.
The facts are that the middle class and the lower class benefited substantially more on a percent basis of returns due to the Jobs Act, the Tax Cut and Jobs Act put in place by Trump. Plain and simple. End of story.
Oh my God. Listen to this. The guy that wrote the article, Justin Haskins, is director of the Socialism Research Center at the Heartland Institute and the co-author with Glenn Beck of the forthcoming book, The Greatest Reset, Joe Biden and the Rise of 21st Century Fascism. That guy is a non-biased person.
Sounds like an economist. Sounds like an economist.
That really, what part of what I just read to you makes you think that he's qualified in the field of economics?
Sounds to me like somebody's challenging the leftist continual topic of
God. You're so brain dead, dude.
The top 1% was benefited.
You're so brain dead.
No, your
brain is just total mush. Then, all right, then great. Then that's great. Then I can cite Joe Biden, right? So when Joe Biden says something, that we'll take it as fact, right?
Well, you didn't even file taxes when this was in effect, and you're 14 when this all went.
By the way, Trump's tax. Are you? Do you think you're paying?
It's still. I know. We're still under Trump's tax policy.
Yeah,
you don't that's the same constant riddle.
But do you think you're paying more taxes right now than you were before?
Am I paying more taxes than I am before?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm necessarily paying more taxes than I was before. I feel like I'm spending more money due to inflation in the economy, gas prices, and this shitty ass, country that's being ran by freaking losers.
Really? I mean, well, you're the only loser right now is Donald Trump, who lost to Joe Biden and continues to be a little loser.
Wrong.
But, I mean, you can say wrong all you want, man, but you can't cite any data for your argument. You can't just come in here and say stuff and then expect to not be challenged on it. And I just love how you cited a Hill article, opinion piece from somebody who wrote a book about Joe Biden being a fascist. I mean, that's remarkable. That's just such dumb shit.
His next piece might be how Kamala is a Marxist.
Can you define communism for me?
I can define Marxism for you.
Can you define communism?
Yeah, I think I can define communism.
Okay, what's communism?
Classless society, everybody's equal.
Well, it's a classless, stateless, moneyless society. You left out like two really crucial details of communism. So do you think Kamala Harris is a Marxist? Do you think Kamala Harris is a Marxist?
I think her father's got...
I didn't say anything about her father, and also her father's not, but can you answer the question? Do you think Kamala Harris is a Marxist?
I think it's embedded in her. I think if you're raised that you have...
So how do you think, what policies of her are communist?
I don't think you're going to see them yet.
Okay, so then how can you say that she's a communist?
Because she was raised by a Marxist.
She was her father is not a Marxist. I don't know where you got that from.
Father is definitely a Marxist.
Really? Where'd you get that from? Exactly.
From her father. From her father.
Really? And so can you cite that as well?
You are just blind to facts. It's embarrassing.
Can you cite that as well? Like, where did you get that from? Like, what you say where you got it from her father? Did you talk to him, or like where'd you get that?
No, the information about who her father was shows that he's a Marxist.
Okay, so I'm still asking where you got. So what information are you citing? And also, like, I mean, we don't even have to go into that. If somebody's parent is a Republican, does that automatically mean that they're going to be a Republican?
No, but I guarantee you.
Okay, so then why is it baked into Kamala Harris?
If somebody's parents are respectful, their kids might raise to be respectful. I mean, you can throw that hypothetical out at anything.
Yeah, it's about, we're talking about political belief, which is not necessarily, we're talking about political belief, not like respect and being taught respect. So obviously, like if somebody's parents believe something, it doesn't automatically mean that person's going to believe something.
No, but
especially when it comes to political belief.
More likely than not.
It's not necessarily more likely than not. Especially in the case of like somebody who studies. No, it's absolutely not. Especially in the case of somebody who studies politics, they're far more likely to actually develop their own views as opposed to listen to their parents. And that's the case with Kamala Harris. And like, can you give me an example of like something that she's done that's communist or in line with communist policy?
Yeah, let's just let an influx of over 1 million illegal immigrants in here and just give them everything they want. Okay,
so tell me about that. How did she do that?
Well, I mean, she clearly was in control of the border.
How did she do that? You're saying how did she do that?
I mean, that's her job. So you tell me how she did it.
No. You're saying that she opened the border.
What she didn't do.
Hold on. You're saying she opened the border. What did she do to open the border?
She didn't do anything.
What did she do to open the border? What did she do to open the border?
Absolutely nothing.
So she didn't open the border. Samuel, thank you for the subscription, man.
No, she didn't.
If she didn't do anything, that means that the border was never open.
I'm not saying she opened the border, Harry. The border's obviously open in areas.
So then who opened the border? Who opened the border?
She didn't control the border. The border's always been open. Trump tried to build a wall to close the border.
So the border was open under Donald Trump?
I mean, define open.
Well, you said it.
That she didn't control the border.
So you're saying that the border was open under Donald Trump?
No, I'm saying Trump took action as far as to control the border.
So the border wasn't open under Donald Trump? Was not?
Dude, are you deaf?
Was the border open under Donald Trump or not?
The border has... What are you defining as open?
Well, how do you define
free
open?
people just walk across it illegally with no control?
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like obviously there was areas and it was getting worked to...
So Donald Trump under Donald Trump the border was open. So under Donald Trump the border was open.
But it was being controlled.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
100%.
okay, so then under your view, Kamala Harris, the border is still open under the Biden administration, but it's not being controlled.
Worse. Correct.
Okay, so like if it was controlled under Trump, what policy was rolled back under Kamala Harris and Joe Biden that led to it being not controlled? But I know, like, well, of course you don't know specifics because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about,
bro. Let me finish.
Okay, then give me specifics. What did she do? What policy was rolled back?
I said I don't know the specifics, but
exactly. You don't know the specifics. Of course you don't. You donut.
Shut down like.
Of course you don't. You donut. Of course you don't know the specifics.
Place, you little shrimp.
My God. Of course you don't know the specifics. You donut. Golly, dude. Come on, you go into a real book, bro. Golly, what you come up here and yab. Oh, Kamala Harris is not controlling the border. I say, okay, how so? I don't know the specifics. Jesus Christ. Oh my God!
You asked me about policies. Nobody could sit there and rattle off policies that she shut down. That
really? I mean, because I think if you're educated, you can definitely talk about policy.
She wasn't in control of that shit. Biden was, and he's been sleeping.
Well, I thought you said that she did. I thought you said she wasn't controlling the border and she had control over it. You just said that a minute ago.
That was her role.
Really? So 100%. She was in control of the border.
She was appointed.
Wait, so you're telling me that the president of the United States? You're telling me that the president of the United States can give entire control of the border to the vice president?
No, dude, come on, bro.
You said that she was appointed to control it. So how does that work?
She was appointed. Yes, she was appointed to oversee and monitor and control and.
Thank you, Brian, for the subscription. Yeah, that's just not true, though. The president can't appoint the vice president to oversee the border. That's not within the vice president's powers granted to them in the Constitution. And the president can't delegate that power and just like give it up to the vice president. That's not how the presidency works. It's not how the executive works. So you just have no idea what the Constitution says and how the federal government works.
So what do you think about Carmela taking cops out of schools? Saying she'd take cops out of schools. You think that's a good idea?
Who?
Carmela.
Who is that?
Camellia.
Who is that?
Your person you're voting for.
I'm not voting for someone named Camellia. Who is that?
You feelings hurt that I can't pronounce her name?
I'm just. Who is that? Who are you talking about?
What do you think about that?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Kamala.
I don't know who that is. Who is that?
The woman on the back of your screen back there. Cackling Kamala.
That's not her. Who? This is somebody else. Then you must be referencing somebody else. So who are you referencing right now? Who are you referencing?
Carmela Harris.
Who? I don't know who that is.
You don't know Carmela?
No, I don't know who that is.
Chameleon.
Nope.
Molds herself to whoever she's in front of.
Nope. I don't know who you're talking about.
Kamala, bro. What do you think about
Kamala? Oh, yeah, you
Kamala.
could. Okay, so you could just pronounce her name correctly instead of doing all this dumb shit and being a child. So what's your question? How do I feel about her wanting to remove police from schools?
Yeah, you think that's a good idea?
I don't think police should be in schools.
You're insane.
Right now, there are not police in schools.
Yes, there is. You're
There's
actually
not a
insane.
That's not true. There's not a federal policy putting police in every single school in the United States. That's not true.
Dude, what are you talking about?
Oh my God, this is so painful. Do you not know anything?
I'm not saying that.
Do you not know anything?
Do you not understand that public schools have police officers on staff?
There are not police officers at every single public school in America.
No shit. I didn't say that, but she directly wants to remove the ones that have it.
Yeah, I think that generally that's a good direction to move in. I don't think we should have
crazy?
police officers. Yeah, no, I'm serious. I don't think we should have police officers roaming the halls of schools. Actually, there's data to suggest that SSROs, which are schools, police officers in schools, are harmful. There's over policing in schools, and some kids have even gotten like a rap sheet, a criminal history, because there's police officers in schools and they break up a fight between two kids, and instead of like sending them to the principal, they get arrested and then they get a criminal charge, and that's bad for kids. They should not have that on the criminal on their record if they're just kids in schools being stupid. Instead, we should just take simple measures to prevent crime in our society without having police officers roaming the halls of schools.
So you think simple measures is going to stop a person who wants to shoot up a school to actually?
Yeah, so that's called gun control. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's not criminals don't get gun control.
Really? So I'm just curious, like Great Britain, Australia, all these other countries have really strong gun control. Why do you not see like mass shootings over there?
Pretty sure you do see it. It's just not at the same rate.
No, it virtually never happens.
It never happens.
It virtually never happens. Yeah. I think since Australia banned all weapons since like the 1997, there's only been one mass shooting in Australia.
There you go. One mass shooting.
Yep, one.
Virtually never happens.
In 27 years. Yeah. In 27 years is like virtually never happening. Exactly right.
All right, well, let me give you a statistic on this. You want to take resource officers out of school. That's absolutely insanity, for one. And two, the data shows that if a resource officer wasn't in the schools that were, I don't even know if I could say shot up here, but that were, it would have resulted in like 15x more in deaths. So for you to sit there and say that you're in
What are you
support of
talking
taking
about? What's this study that you're citing?
it's a study of the most recent one that had resource officer on staff in the school.
The most recent what? What are you talking about? What are you even like? Are you just making up numbers right now? Like what are you even saying?
Talking about school shootings.
Yeah. What study are you citing?
That there is a more positive effect to have resource officers in schools than there is to take them out. And the president that you're voting for is in support of taking resource officers out of schools, which is insanity. You want to not keep the kids safe. That is absolutely insane.
This is not, wait, I'm the one advocating for gun control, which keeps people safe. You're not.
It's us not, bro.
Really? Then tell me, why do other countries not have mass shootings like we do?
Because criminals break laws.
Yet there are criminals in those countries too, numbnuts. So
all right, numbnuts. What would you consider gun control? Because we already have substantially.
So no. Answer the question. If gun control does not save lives, then why do these other countries not have shootings like we do?
They do. You just said that the other countries.
What the fuck are you talking? 1 in 27 years. Do you recognize that last year and the year before that 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 we had more mass shootings in days? If Australia has 1 in 27 years, that's nowhere near what we have, right? So if they have strong gun control over there and we don't, then what do you think is causing these shootings, huh? Why do you think they're happening so often in the United States?
What's the rate of mass stabbings over there?
At least in Great Britain, which I know the data of, their stabbings are less frequent, less deadly, and affect less people compared to America's mass shootings.
Yeah, because they're stabbings, numbnuts.
Yeah, exactly, numbnuts. So if we take the guns away from people and there's not as many guns, there will be less deaths. Thank you for proving my point, idiot.
No.
Oh
idiot.
my God. Yeah, exactly. They're stabbings. Exactly, they're stabbings. If there are the same amount of stabbings, there's less people that are gonna die. Oh my God.
There's still
This guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Yo, Cat, appreciate you. Look at that thing. I can't even see this guy. He's still yapping, dude. Yeah. I like that, Cat. Thank you, Cat. I appreciate you. Yeah, that was a really bad moment for you. You shouldn't have said that.
Said what? That crime increase.
That went. Yeah, less people are dying because they're stabbings. Yes, obviously. Obviously.
No, I'm saying they're taking other measures and.
Yeah, and their measures are not as deadly. So if we can have let's just say, for example, that there are going to be criminals that are always going to kill, right? If I would rather those criminals, if there's no way to stop all of that crime, I'd rather they try to use a knife than an AR-15 to commit said crime.
Cool. So let's move past this. Let's move past this. Of
course, because it's a losing argument for you guys. You guys have no argument on this one.
Okay. Well, no, I do have an argument because at the end of the day, this is America. It's in the Constitution. Taking guns away will never become a thing. So what do you say to taking resource officers out of schools? Where's the benefit in that? There isn't.
So the data I cited that like SSROs there's actually not much data. There's not much data to suggest that SSROs are actually effective in what their goal is in like preventing tragedy and preventing shootings. And there's actually some evidence to suggest that it's a net negative, that there's a form of like over policing in some of these schools. Okay, you can just say that as much as you want. I know that first of all, you're the same guy in here. You're the same guy in here who's suggesting that the election was stolen. So like nobody should listen to you on literally anything.
No, I just said
aside from that, there's actually evidence to suggest that it's not helpful. And I think that if we have common sense, the goal is like preventing mass shootings. If we have common sense gun reform, we won't even have to deal with the mass shootings.
Okay, so what about our gun reform is not common sense? That's what I've been asking you. You can't tell me what's not common sense.
Raising the age to 21 or even higher to buy an AR-15, mandatory mental health checks, expanded background checks, universal background checks,
that's all a thing.
Permit to purchase laws, red flag laws.
That's a thing.
They are not part of federal law. They are not part of federal law.
They are 100% anywhere.
They are not part of federal law. There is no mandatory mental health checks in federal law. There are maybe individual states or jurisdictions. Really?
Majority. Yeah. What states don't enforce that?
There's no federal law.
What states don't
individual
enforce it?
states. For what? For what specifically?
For background checks, for gun control,
Texas.
for
Texas doesn't have red flag laws.
Texas does have red flag laws.
They do not have red flag laws.
They have substantial background checks. They have red flag laws.
That's not what a red flag law is. That's not a red flag law. There are very few states out there. I don't think there are actually any states, or maybe very few states, that have permit to purchase laws. And there's no state out there with mandatory mental health checks and mandatory training.
Mandatory training?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mandatory training to have self-defense?
Yeah, mandatory training, huh?
Self-defense, or to go shoot up a school, because there's a big difference in the person who buys that gun to have what are you mandatory training a school shooter
mandatory
for?
Training that you get trained on how to use it if you want to buy it.
That's not going to stop a school shooter.
Yeah, but when you add everything else in,
what?
it's pretty effective. Do you not listen? Do you know what a red flag law is?
Yeah, I live in a state that has one. I had to go through one.
What's a red flag? What's a red flag law?
I'll give you an example of a red flag. If you had, divorced parents that one was an alcoholic, or if you had a mental institution, if you had therapy, anything that throws a red flag into a person's mental health, yes, that's not
what a red flag is. See, no, absolutely not. That literally, this is my point that you literally don't know anything. A red flag law is not just like, oh, you went to therapy or
it's
you
not
had divorced
just like,
parents.
but it is that part of it.
No, it's not.
I give you an example.
That's not at all. What are you talking about? Not at all. Red flag laws are things like, for example, let's just say a person who owns a firearm was posting online that they're going to go attack a school. If somebody discovers that, they can report that to the police and they can have their guns temporarily taken away pending a court order. And they go to court and decide whether this person's gun should be taken away from them because maybe they are a threat to their community or themselves. That's a red flag law. It's not just, oh, your parents are divorced, which means you can't buy a gun. Oh my!
It's also not just because you posted something on social media. It encompasses a bunch of things. You numbnuts.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. A red flag law is a red flag law is not what you just described. A red flag law is not what you just described.
And it's not just what you just described. And it's not just posting on social media.
I gave you an example. I gave you
an example.
Your examples are not correct. They're not correct.
My freaking brother-in-law couldn't get one because he had a therapist when he was 16.
That's not what a red flag law is.
It was a red flag law, you numbnuts.
No, bro. No, you don't. You have no idea.
You don't even know what a gun is.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't even know how to hold a gun.
Let's just read the definition on Google, right? You okay with that?
Probably don't even know what a pocket knife is.
That was really a great comeback. Nice one. In the United States, a red flag law is a gun law that permits a state court order the temporary seizure of firearms from a person who they believe may present a danger.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's literally what I just said.
Both of our points. But my point too.
Wait, what about somebody having divorced parents presents themselves as a danger?
I gave you 6 examples. One of them was mental institution. That's a red flag.
You said divorced parents.
I said that is a trigger point for the background check, and then raises a red flag, and they look into it. That is part of the red flag law.
No, a red flag. Oh my God. A red flag law does not apply when you're buying the firearm. That's a background check, numbnuts.
No, numbnuts. Part of that.
Oh my God, dude.
You can go through a background check, and they still have red flag laws that come into effect.
That's not what a red. I just read to you. That's not what a red flag law is. A red flag law is not, when you're buying a firearm, the seller discovers that you went to a mental health institution or that your parents are divorced. That is not a red flag law.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God.
It 100% is.
Go find a definition which encompasses that of red flag.
You just read it. You literally just read it.
Just listen to this again. A red flag law is a gun law that permits a state court to order the temporary seizure of firearms from a person who they believe may present a danger. It's somebody who already has a firearm in their possession, and that firearm is then seized by a court temporarily pending a court order. It is not when you are buying a firearm.
It's both, buddy.
It's
yes, it is, little buddy.
Oh my God. Really? Because that's literally in practice that has never been the case. That's what we call.
Look up, can a red flag law be implemented before purchasing a firearm?
You're confusing background checks and red flag laws. You just don't know what these things are.
Okay, regardless, what is that going to stop somebody to go shoot up a school?
A red flag law? If somebody, for example, there have been plenty of shootings in recent history where the shooter has posted online that they're going to go do it. So if we can catch that in time and then report them to the police and they don't have that firearm to go do it, then we're in business here.
You're just going to take the one firearm they have. They're not going to find another means. If somebody's that mentally unstable, you need to do more than just take their firearm, Harry. Use your brain,
depending on what they are, if they're threatening, if their threats are credible, maybe they'll be put in jail and have their firearms seized.
There you go. It's not about gun control. It's about person control.
So exactly. But if that person,
guns away from Americans,
if that person is making threats and then their firearms taken away from them, what are they? They can't conduct the plans that they wanted to conduct.
Yeah. So let's just send that person to a school that doesn't have an SRO in it. And now you don't have a resource officer to be a first line of defense.
Really? Parkland and Uvalde would like a word.
Who?
Parkland, Uvalde. You familiar with these places?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, these are places of school shootings. Some of the worst school shootings in American history. And of course, you don't know that. Uvalde had hundreds of police officers on site. They did nothing. Nothing. Parkland had a police officer on site at the school. You know what he did? Ran. He ran away.
Okay.
Ran.
There was a one in California recently that if that SRR wasn't on staff, that's the statistic I was telling you about that would have substantially increased the number of kids that died.
You literally made up that. You made up a stat on site.
I didn't make up a stat. You refused to look it up. You're pointing up.
I asked you what your source is for that, and you said, and you wouldn't give me a source. You stumbled over your words and and
cherry picked the few SROs that are bad and pinpointed that you should just take them all out of schools.
I did not pinpoint. I didn't even mention specific SSROs.
What are you talking about?
I didn't even mention specific SSROs. I was talking about data generally. And
no, you did say that one ran and that one.
Oh yeah. Those are some of the most recent examples of SSROs. Yeah, those are some of the most recent examples of SSROs. But I also cited general studies earlier about SSROs.
Okay, first of all, this argument is insanity. If you think that taking resource officers and on staff's security support out of schools, which is all that does is provide more threat to the kids, is insane.
I'm just saying we should have common sense gun reform.
Okay, but you also think that your president you're voting for is in support, or you're in agreement with her support of taking them out of schools. It doesn't make any sense. It's an irrational thought and policy. So that's why I think it's ridiculous.
I'm not saying we shouldn't have security for schools, but having police officers in schools is a different thing.
No, it's not. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so security.
Defund the police?
No, I'm not defund the police. You know who is for defunding the police?
Who?
Donald Trump.
No, he's not.
Really? Because he called for defunding the FBI and the Department of Justice, our chief law enforcement agency of the United States.
That's the most corrupt deep state bullshit.
So you're in favor of defunding the police?
No, I'm in favor of defunding the three-letter organizations that are psycho.
Yeah, exactly. You're in favor of defunding the police.
No, not the people who get paid $40,000 a year to go and support and keep you safe. That's not defunding.
Do you think the FBI are a bunch of millionaires? A lot of these people make like $70,000 to $120,000 a year. They're not rolling in dough.
Yeah, that's what you think, Harry.
Their salaries are public.
Are they?
Yes.
Just like 4 years ago before NIL, all of the quote unquote salaries of these kids playing sports in college were public.
I don't know how this is like the dumbest. This is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. You just compared college football players to. You just compared college football players to the FBI. The FBI, all of their salaries are public because it's taxpayer funded. Just like the president's salary is public. Just like members of Congress' salaries are public. All of this stuff is public. The FBI is not rolling in dough. They're not making millions. And the FBI is our chief law enforcement agency in the United States. They're a chief investigative agency in the United States. And without the FBI, it would be a significantly less country. And your dumbass and Donald Trump's dumbass wants to defund them so we are less safe.
You're a smooth brain imbecile.
You don't even know what the fuck. You just don't. You don't even know what you're talking about.
A salary is a salary.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
A salary is a salary. You think that's the only way to make money? First of all, you don't even have a salary.
How else do you think these FBI agents are making money? Are you telling me that there's like this corrupt scheme of which money is secretly being funded and funneled to FBI agents now?
Yeah, it's called politics, bud.
Really? Do you have any evidence of this? Oh no, I don't. I'm answering it for you so we can get through this.
You're not going to see the evidence. Like you can look up their salary. That's all you're going to see.
What's the evidence?
Dude.
What's the evidence?
21-year-old swine.
What's the evidence? You don't have any. Oh my God. This is so embarrassing when people like yourself come up here and you're literally arguing against America's safety. Like the FBI does so much amazing work behind the scenes, quietly, quietly. They don't
And they
announce,
also do a
oh, we
lot
just
of
stopped
corrupt.
this massive terrorism plot. They do it quietly, so people like you can go to bed at night and sleep soundly. And you're saying, oh yeah, the FBI is just corrupt. Jeez, get a grip, man. Stop buying into this guy's crap. And
Okay,
just
well,
realize
then
you're
stop-
arguing against the safety of the United States right now. It's so weird what you guys
You're
do.
arguing against the safety of the kids of this country. And so
That is the dumbest. You are literally doing that by not wanting to fund the FBI. So if you're like, oh,
No, you brought up the
wait,
FBI. I didn't
wait,
even
I'm
bring
sorry.
up the
Now,
FBI.
so the FBI that investigates all of these different terrorist threats towards the United States and makes sure that things don't happen. You're like, yeah, fuck those guys, defund the FBI. And then when it comes to local police, you're just like, yeah, they're great. Why?
No, you said defund the FBI. I never said that. I
You
said
said defund the FBI. You called them corrupt.
No, you dummy. I said you're
You
in favor of
called them
defunding the
corrupt.
police, and you tried to flip it on me and said, "Oh,
You
think
called
that the
them
FBI is
corrupt.
part of the police."
You called them corrupt.
Yeah, they are corrupt.
The FBI is corrupt. What's your evidence of that?
I just said, okay, yeah, they're not all corrupt. I'm saying there's definitely cases and areas that politics come into effect, and it's corruption. So there is corrupt areas
Where?
within the United States government. You're blind.
I'm not asking within the United States government. I'm asking where's the corruption in the FBI?
Do you know what FBI stands for? That's the United States government.
It does not stand for United States government.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where's the corruption? Where's the corruption in the FBI? Where's the corruption in the FBI?
You're not going to see it because it's corruption, you ding dong.
So you're just making stuff up right now.
No,
See,
no. Like I said,
you have the
you just have to
worst.
open your eyes, dude.
You have the worst logical reasoning I've seen in MAGA, in Trump supporters, right? Where you're just like, yeah, there's literally no evidence for this, but it has to be present. I say, okay, well, why do you believe it? You just say, well, you're not going to see the evidence, but it's out there. It's like, what? Do you have any evidence for anything you believe?
Yeah.
Where's the evidence of corruption in the FBI that it needs to be defunded, according to Donald Trump? Where's that evidence?
Elect him and you'll find out.
Where's the evidence?
He's going to release it all.
Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Why didn't he do it the first
Vote for him in
time?
November, Harry, and you'll find out.
Where's the evidence? You don't have any evidence. Where's
Then
the
you can
evidence?
put on a
Where's the
red
evidence
hat
of
just
anything
like
you
Biden.
believe? You don't believe it. You don't have any evidence.
You can put on a red hat just like Biden. You can go ahead and switch your side when you start to see what you've been supporting is complete fraud, scandalous.
Any evidence of that? Any evidence?
Wait till Trump's in office. You'll find out.
Oh
quickly.
God, this is so embarrassing. Aren't you like embarrassed? Aren't you embarrassed when you come up here in like a very public way in front of like 5,300 people, and I'm asking you like, okay, so why do you believe what you believe? And you're just like, well, I don't know. I just do. Don't you think that's like a little bit embarrassing?
No, I don't.
You don't think it's embarrassing? You don't think it's embarrassing to like
what's
believe something without
I think what's
without any
embarrassing
evidence?
is your sweatshirt, dude.
You think I like my sweatshirt?
Yeah,
Mr.
that's the
President,
most
baby.
beta. That's the
Damn
most
right.
beta sweatshirt I've ever seen in my life.
Only freaks use the word beta unironically.
you're
It's
a beta.
super strange.
You're a
Super
beta.
strange. Yeah,
Look at
that's
that.
only weirdos use that word unironically. Like genuinely, like get help, bro. Go to therapy or something. If you're like walking around being like, oh, dude, that's so beta. Like you got to go to therapy, bro. You just got to go to therapy.
Oh, I didn't say that's beta. I said you're beta.
Yeah, anything you describe as beta in like an unironic way, you need to go to therapy, dude. You need to go like get help. Because it's just like you're either like incredibly insecure in yourself or you simply have the vocabulary of like a 5-year-old, which maybe both are true. I don't know.
Would you like me to use another word?
What word would that be?
Weak.
Well, you
Weak
maybe want to
little
say
boy.
it without having your voice crack. That'd be a little less embarrassing next time.
Weak little boy.
Did you just like do it again? What the fuck?
Was my voice cracking?
Jeez Louise, this guy. You need to like go outside. You need to go like find a hobby.
All right. So on the real though, I think we can all see through your bullshit. You're definitely voting Trump in November. I think it's pretty obvious.
I'm not. I don't support men that assault women and criminals, dude. So that's not me.
Where's your evidence of that?
He was convicted of 34 felonies and was found liable in civil court for assaulting a woman.
In civil court.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So he was found guilty and found liable for these things. So that's some of the evidence. So here's what I just cited to you is actual evidence. So when I was asking you earlier, like, what's the evidence that the FBI is corrupt, and you didn't have anything, you said Trump is just going to release it. That's not providing evidence. But when you ask me, what's your evidence that Donald Trump is a criminal and assaults women, and I cite to you legal cases that Donald Trump has been in and either found guilty or liable, that's actual evidence for my claim. So maybe you just learned something about argument tonight. That's maybe something you didn't know before.
Are we teaching Republicans like 6th grade reading comprehension? That's fucking sick. I've been trying to do that all day.
It's been a tough one.
It's not
this
going
guy.
well. No, it
this
doesn't
guy's
go
making
well.
up statistics.
This loser.
Who the fuck is it, bro? I'm really not in a good mood because Republicans even piss me off. I mean, it's just like,
Quit fixing your hair, dude.
tell me the 3 branches of government right now.
How old were you when?
Tell me
when
the
Trump
three
was
branches of government right now.
judicial, legislation, and the executive?
my God.
The legislative, the executive, and the judicial branch.
I'm so sick of this,
God,
man. I'm so
bro.
fucking sick.
Oh my
The
God.
legislative.
I'm so
He couldn't
sick.
get it right, bro. He couldn't get it
I'm
right.
so sick.
Sorry, I've been out of school longer than a year. You little.
No, that's okay, man. I haven't been in school for like a year either.
Just
I
read,
just like
bro.
guns.
It's not just read, dude.
When,
just
yeah, when
read.
I vote, it's actually just like when I vote, I try to have like a basic understanding of who I'm voting for.
Have you voted before?
Yes, I have.
How old are
2020.
you?
I'm 22.
22. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, dude. The fuck. Jesus.
So 20. So yeah, you would have been 14 as well
Okay.
when Trump was elected. Zero clue at how well the country was doing.
Yeah, and then we went over this earlier. You have an opinion on the President Abraham Lincoln, just like we can have an opinion on Donald Trump, no matter how young or how old we were, because we can read something that you're not doing.
It's a little different when you actually.
It's literally
experience
not different. It's not
you
different at
experience
all.
it?
It's
When you
not different
experience
at
it?
all. Thank you, Lena. I
When
appreciate
you
you.
experience a complete decline in everything.
Okay, why? What declined?
Well, actually, I should say incline because every single thing's increased.
Okay, like what?
I should say incline.
What increased? What increased? What increased?
Illegal immigration, complete incline. in
Wait.
gas
What
prices, complete
increased? What
increase.
increased?
Inflation, complete
Okay,
increase.
wait. Are you saying that Joe Biden is to blame for inflation?
I'm saying Joe Biden is to blame for gas prices going up.
right,
Yeah.
Okay, well, how is Joe Biden responsible for gas prices going up?
Do you boys understand what futures are?
No, yeah. Oh, bro, we're about to deal with guys, chat. We have like literally the 4 IQ intake incoming. Please explain how futures relate to the price of gas and how it's Joe Biden's fault, please. I'd love to hear this. This is gonna be really good.
Go ahead.
It's gonna be really good.
So again, do you guys know what futures are?
Yes, I know what
Yes, we
futures
know
are.
what
Please
futures
tell
are.
me how
Go,
this
go, go.
relates.
That
please.
sounds like a classic response to
Explain.
somebody
Go,
who
please,
doesn't
quick.
know.
No,
Move
because you're about to tell me something about how the price for a barrel of oil was predicted to go up or down, or something about how when Joe Biden is going to get in office, everybody knew it was going to be hell on earth, or you're going to say something so incompetent with no data behind it, it's going to make me steam come out of my ears. That's what's going to happen.
All right, Chrissy.
Yeah. So how about this? How about we just like speed
Holy
how about we
shit.
speed this up? So let's try. I'm going to
Well,
teach
no,
you.
let me-
I'm gonna,
you want
no,
me to
you're going to be
answer?
quiet. You're going to be
No,
quiet
I'm
for a
gonna
second.
answer.
No,
Who is this
because
guy?
actually,
No. Answer us.
Why do you
Answer
guys keep
us.
fixing your hair? I want to answer.
So
you.
here's the thing. But we can like
Go.
speed up. We can speed. Hold on, Harry. Hold on. We can speed up this whole process because I can't. We could just speed up. You're going to say something that's objectively wrong, and I'm going to basically teach you Econ 101 in 30 seconds. You ready? Supply and demand. Donald Trump's in office. At the end of his presidency, everybody's shut inside. Nobody's going outside. The world is closed, and so the demand for oil is really, really low. Like the price of a barrel of oil is like $10, $5, $0, and so everybody stops supplying oil because there's no demand. And then when Joe Biden gets in office, the dynamics of COVID change, the vaccines roll out, and the whole world opens back up. So all of a sudden, the demand for oil is really, really high, but the supply is still really low because no one's supplying.
Is that dude
Who
done
muted?
yapping?
You muted him.
I think he muted himself. He was sick of him hearing himself yap.
No one.
We're on Senate over
I
here.
got a phone. I got a phone call. I got a phone call. Sorry. Demand is super high, and then supply is super low. And when demand's really high and supply is really low, it causes inflation. So we had to produce more oil to get the price back down.
Congrats. Now let me explain to you how futures work in relation to the oil and gas industry.
Please, I'd love to hear this.
When you have a president who's preaching from day one, he's going to stop drilling permits, and then he does stop drilling permits. He talks about shutting down pipelines, and he does shut down pipelines. Companies,
pipeline.
gas and oil industry, indirectly understand that, okay, we won't be drilling, we won't be this, we won't be that,
Wait.
and prices get affected.
Wait. Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question before Harry does? I'm sorry, and I'll let Harry talk. But again, like if you had actually, I mean, I was 14 and I had a better understanding of what was going on. There was already nobody drilling oil. I just explained this, right? There was no supply of oil across the world because there was no demand. So if the barrel of oil was already $0, I don't understand how the feuds could have shown that fucking the oil industry was like, we're not going to be able to drill any oil anymore. They already weren't drilling oil, and then the demand went up and the supply was nothing, so the prices were really high. That's absurd.
No, it's not. For those,
No, it is. It's almost like you weren't alive during
chill
that
out,
time.
bud. Let me answer you. When you were 14 years old until you were 18, when you can vote, gas prices were steady. And then they increased. Don't say COVID because that's a load of shit.
Really?
Oh my! Yeah, don't don't say 2 + 2 equals 4 because that's a load of crap.
Why
the month? Can I ask a question? The month Joe Biden, like the month and the months leading up to Joe Biden getting elected, barrels of oil on a global market were literally trading for $0. We had a day, COVID, where the price of a barrel of oil on paper was negative $34. Technically, if you had a barrel of oil, you had to pay someone to get rid of it. Why? Because normally barrels of oil, like right now, are like, we went down a little bit. Gas prices are going back down. We're at like $80. So why were barrels of oil trading for $5 when Donald Trump was in office?
So do you want me to answer the reason?
No, I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me why barrels of oil were trading for literally $5 at the end of Trump's term.
Meaning they went up?
No. Oh my fuck. So the average barrel of oil cost let's say the average barrel of oil costs like 80, 90, $100. At the end of Trump's presidency, barrels of oil were trading for $5. $5 on a global market. Why?
You're going to try to get me to say COVID.
No, I'm not trying. I'm not trying to get you to say COVID. The answer is COVID. There was no demand. This is basic capitalism. There was no demand for oil. Everything was shut down, and so there was no supply. So nobody was buying oil. So oil was super cheap.
You're insane, bro.
And so when Joe Biden, So when Joe Biden got in office and everyone went outside, again, demand exploded because everyone needed oil for things, gas for things. And supply was still super low. And when demand is high and supply is low, it causes inflation. Congrats. You learned Econ 101 your freshman year of high school. You took an entire class in 30 seconds on TikTok Live. I hope that helps.
I just straight showed you why futures matter.
Oh my God.
This guy has no idea what he's doing.
No idea what you're talking about.
Please pull up oil futures. Pull up oil futures for me right fucking now in May of 2020. I want to see how that goes for you. Go find me oil futures for May of 2020, please. I fucking beg you. You're such a numbnuts. Like, what are you talking about?
Harry.
Go ahead, Harry. I'm sorry.
Google for this shit stack. Actually, don't Google because that's some biased shit they push to the first 4 pages.
I'm done.
Go. Find another news source and go look up how futures affect the oil and gas industry for this shit stack.
No.
Exactly.
No, I mean, I'm just waiting for you to prove your own point. Like, I've been asking you for sources this entire conversation and you refuse to give them anything. So either you go do it, but we're not going to do your homework for you. And also, by the way, just for the record, oil under Donald Trump's presidency was trading, in terms of futures, crude oil futures, was trading at a higher price than they were under Joe Biden's presidency, right now, at least around right now. In September 28th, 2018, it was at $73.25 on global markets. Right now, September 13, 2024, $67.75.
It's called election season, bud.
Oh, it's called election season. It's been around that level for quite some time now.
100%.
No,
Really?
it's called we're drilling more oil right now than ever before in human history.
Also, like in June 23rd of 2023, it was trading at $69.16, around the same level it is right now in 2023.
Hey, Chris, do you support taking resource officers out of schools?
Are you bringing up some Kamala Harris thing?
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. So, I think that low income schools like Kamala Harris is talking about, when they're like over resourced, it probably like really leads to worse outcomes in terms of like the school to prison pipeline and such. So I mean, I think we should do more work.
It's almost like what Chris is saying is exactly what I was saying earlier, that there's actually studies to suggest that SSROs have negative impacts on kids in schools, because some of these kids end up having a rap sheet because maybe they get in a fight with a friend and they end up getting arrested and charged than just going to the principal's office and suspended.
Yeah, exactly. And like to brains, like obviously young brains are like really, really impressionable, and that's how they develop. And so if we like would actually fund mental health in schools, which is something Democrats have tried to do a lot, but Republicans have blocked all of those bills, then we could have you could still call them resource officers, but they would be like specifically trained in like de-escalation and mental health. So like kids can like go to the principal's office and learn, and then they don't end up in prison because like over policed, specifically like minority areas are like throwing kids in jail. That's not how you should be operating.
All right. So show me the statistic that shows that those resource officers more negatively affect those kids in school than pose positive impacts on their life.
Yeah. So
because there's actually a statistic that shows the complete opposite.
Yeah. So again, I think like part of
it's been proven, and you're an idiot.
Okay.
Yeah. This guy, by the way, Chris, this is somebody who thinks that the election was stolen.
Yeah,
No, I didn't. I never said it was stolen.
You
literally said it was stolen earlier.
There's definitely evidence that makes sense for people to believe that.
Wait. The Institute of Education Services says here that students at school with an SRO present are students at schools with an SRO presence are 5 times more likely to be arrested for disorderly conduct, with over 10,000 prosecutions of young people under the so-called, quote, disturbing schools laws every academic year. So are you telling, like,
that
again,
statistic? No shit. The other side of it doesn't have resource officers in the schools.
Again,
so it's a 0% chance.
hey, do you think it's smart to be like criminally charging kids for getting
Disorderly
in fights?
conduct?
Do you think that's smart?
Oh my God,
do you think that's
dude.
a good
Where does that
idea?
happen?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Where
See,
does
this
that
is what we
happen?
call stats and data. When we cite something for you,
Dude, this dude just
listen up,
cited a
because
data source.
you never do this. This entire conversation, you've been sitting here saying, oh, I don't have a source on this. Oh, I don't know. I read it. Oh my God, dude. Fucking look something up at one point in your goddamn life, dude. It'd be really helpful.
Don't want me to do the research for you, but you're spitting out lies.
I want you to do
just
your
told
own
you a
research.
No, you just told me a stat that said schools with resource officers are at 5% higher than schools that aren't. No
5
shit.
times.
There's none.
You're-
no
you're-
no
you're-
shit. There's no resource officers in schools that don't have resource officers.
but-
So that's a 0% stat.
Okay, nice.
Holy fuck.
Again,
You understand that kids in like normal public schools without SSROs can still be arrested for disorderly conduct? Are you not? Do you think that like if a school does not have an SSRO, the police are unable to come to that school?
No, Chair, you're trying to make him follow a logic train about stats.
Yeah, that's
that's
my
more
bad.
than like two steps, so he can't
It's
do
like
that.
no.
So let's try
it's
again.
either.
All right, this is a study. This is the study that compared schools with and without SROs in the same districts, and found no effect on total arrests, but a 402% increase in the arrest rate for disorderly conduct. The null findings on total arrests suggest arresting students is not the most common form of correction by SROs, but the 5-fold increase in disorderly conduct bears consideration. Disorderly conduct is cited when someone, quote, disrupts the peace and is among the most discretionary, blah, 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 blah. Discretionary and possibly minor actions potentially resulting in charges. For example, a student abruptly shouting in class could be charged with a misdemeanor or a civil infraction, or in severe cases, a felony. The charge could depend on several factors. So again, if you understand stats, it's not because all these, if you understand stats, it's not because all these other schools don't have resource officers, so no one can get arrested for the same things. It's saying that they're much more like the schools with school resource officers. The total arrests are the same, but those schools are much more likely to experience like infractions around disorderly conduct. And the way we are giving out those infractions may be like really harmful to a student developing. Because again, you shouldn't if a 13-year-old gets in a fight, the way to discipline him is not to like arrest him and charge him with a misdemeanor and make him show up to a family court. That's ridiculous. There's a million different ways to do that, and it's not that.
So here's what you smooth brains are completely disregarding is the whole reason that these guys are in schools to begin with, and it's for the safety of the kids. So be it if a kid's a fuck up and he ends up freaking getting arrested. All right, what about the safety of the kids and the reason they're there?
Yeah, so
That's the whole
obviously
reason.
nobody
provides
here.
more harm.
So again,
than
let's
it does
try
leaving them in.
CFP.
It's
Let's
an ignorant
try to
policy,
do.
and the person you're voting for is an ignorant.
But for the record, just before you talk, Chris, this guy has never in his entire life read a study regarding SROs.
You know
Just
what
for the
Chris
record,
just read?
this is somebody who's absolutely speaking out of his ass right now and has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And
That's
has
actually false. My wife teaches at a school with one. So
and yet your wife's a teacher and you're still dumb as shit. It's remarkable, isn't it? Jesus Christ. Go
well,
ahead.
she actually
Sorry.
teaches special needs. So that's fucked up.
Well, I appreciate what she does.
Yeah, and
but
she's a way better person than you are.
Yeah, so
You damn
way
right
better
she
person than
is.
you are.
So CFP, let's try to
Damn right she is.
CFP.
And
We're gonna
she's
see.
a way
We're
better
gonna
person
see.
than you are.
CFP.
Yeah, I mean she's working with special needs kids. That's amazing. She's a fantastic person.
She is fantastic, man. I appreciate that.
And you're
Yeah, so
not. And you're the inverse of her. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, so
Hey,
let's
opposites attract.
Hey,
Eric.
CF.
And I really feel
Nice.
bad for her. I wish she had somebody
Nice.
more similar to her.
Let's
That's
try to
fucked
do
up, bro.
let's try to do some like really basic it's a lot more than just black and white, right? We're going to see if your brain overheats from like this conversation, right? So it's possible that both of us agree that like school resource officers are necessary in some capacity, or at least we'll say right now they're necessary in some capacity because they protect students, and we want to protect students. You know, it's possible for us to both agree on that, but these studies may be showing that like, hey, the way that when there are more school resource officers, the way that they are providing discipline, as opposed to like, again, a school resource officer being more trained in like mental health, or just a school deciding to discipline children who are disruptive a different way, as opposed to criminally charging them. I might say, hey, this is really bad because it leads to a school to prison pipeline, and it's like ruining kids' lives before they even get a chance to start. So like that's called being, I don't know, it's called being nuanced. I don't know if you've ever heard of that word, but it can be difficult for some people.
Jeez, dude, this dude's a smart ass. Why you
He's also right.
me, bro?
He's also right.
I'm being incredibly dickish and condescending because I'm honestly really sick and tired of people who walk around with the level of ignorance that you do. It's infuriating.
Yeah,
it's really annoying.
I think that the whole debate is simply yes or no on resource officers being.
It's not. See, this is the annoying thing with the ignorance when it comes to you.
You can support it or you
it's
don't.
not.
That's
no debate in politics is just yes or no. There's not a single topic in politics that is just like in terms of policy that's just yes or no. Everything has nuance and gray areas that need to be worked around. The intricacies need to be talked about. It's never just, oh yeah, let's just do it, or oh, let's just not. There can be a middle ground of, oh yeah, maybe in some cases having security on campus for certain schools might be a good thing. As Chris was talking about, maybe there's a middle ground without having over policing in schools. No doubt.
That's not what Camellia said, though.
That's not what who said?
Camellia.
If you mispronounce her name one more time, I'm going to kick you. Your choice.
I won't do it, Daddy.
All right, you
okay,
be
just
safe.
for that, you gotta go.
You be safe, bro. You be safe.
You'll be all right. You have a good rest of your night, all right? You have a good rest of your night, all right? That's a step too far. James, thank you for the $5. So cute when these guest turns to ageism when they get cooked by you and Chris. That's all. It's literally all they got. Russell, thank you for the $5, man, on Cash App. Keep up the wonderful debates. Great knowledge. I appreciate you, Russell. Thank you so much. Caroline, thank you for the $20, saying thanks for standing up to MAGA idiots. Yeah, you know. We try. That guy is an example of that. Trent, thank you for the 50. Oh, my God. My bad. Trent, thank you for the $20. Sorry, saying you're the man. Trent, I appreciate you, man. You're the man. I appreciate you being here as well, man. And I know Trent. I see him in the live. Samuel, my man, thank you for the $10, saying you deal with so much BS. Much love for all that you do. Yo, Samuel, I appreciate it, man. We're in this together. You know how it is. Destiny, thank you for the $10, saying go Harry. Go Destiny. I appreciate you. And Trayvon, thank you for the $8 as well.
Crazy.
It means a lot on Cash App as well. And Venmo Cash App in the link in the bio if you want to support the live. Chris's Venmo and Cash App is the same as his TikTok username. Drop a follow if you haven't already. Double tap the screen, all that good stuff.
Eloquent, it's great to see you here. We'll be live on Twitch in just a bit.
Texas, what do you got?
Harry, I just want to say that I admire like what you do. However, my question to both of y'all is your age. Did you ever think about joining the military after high school, after college?
I did not think about that, no.
Why not, Chris?
I don't know. It just wasn't something that interested me at the time.
Harry?
Yeah, you know what? Not recently, but there was one point in my life where I was like, oh, the Navy SEALs are really cool. I think it was when I was like really boxing. I was like in like this I was like boxing every single day, like doing these really intense workouts. I was like, I think Navy SEALs are pretty cool. And then I just never did that. So I don't think I could be a Navy SEAL either. Like those guys are superhuman. Like those guys are superhuman people.
I agree. I'm not going to sit here and debate y'all. I'm not going to sit here and bring y'all any facts. But I would just like to tell you about a personal factual situation that happened to me and my husband. My husband and I have been married for 14 years. I am 40 years of age. I'm a college graduate. I have served in the Air Force. My husband is a disabled veteran of the U.S. Army.
I appreciate both of you very much.
Yeah,
he
seriously.
served 2 tours in Desert Storm.
Wow.
And he fought for disabled veteran rights for a total of 18 years.
Let's go.
When President Trump was in office, after fighting for many, many years for his disability rights, after being denied several times, he wrote his local congressman. I wrote them. They did not help us. Of course, we are in the state of Texas, the great state of Texas. And so we chose to write the top, and we wrote President Trump a letter. And President Trump wrote my husband back a letter. We have that letter stored in our safe. And he turned my husband's case over to the National Veterans Administration to get his case heard, which they deemed that he did in fact have service-connected disabilities that were not in fact being recognized by the local VAs. And 2 years ago, he finally got his 100% disability. And my husband is very sick. Because of his 2 tours in Desert Storm, he was in the oil fires. He got discharged with high blood pressure. He is now pending a kidney transplant and does dialysis 3 times per week. So if it wouldn't have been for President Trump writing us back and getting his case heard, we wouldn't be in the situation that we are in now. And as far as for what I've been listening to for gun reform, we are in the state of Texas, and the Second Amendment right gives us the right to bear arms.
It's not absolute, though.
However, like I said, I'm not going to debate you.
Well, then why are you up here?
I understand gun reform, okay? I have children.
So first of all, can I just pause you for a second?
Yes.
Your story about your husband and you is fantastic. I'm glad that your husband is now getting the care that he needs. That's wonderful, first and foremost. Genuinely amazing. Regardless of political belief, that's fantastic. So good for you and your family. I'm glad to hear that. But second of all, if you're not here to debate, then what are you doing here? Because like if I can't even respond to you and like I'm not going to just like give you the time to come up here and like spout why you like Donald Trump and why you like us. Wait, I'm not done yet. I just gave you the respect to speak, and you're going to give me the respect to speak. If you're I'm not going to let you come up here and talk to me and just like spout about why you like Donald Trump so much and why you like guns and why you're against gun control. You can do that, just not here. So either you want to debate, and that's great, and I'm like glad you told us your story about like your experience with the VA and stuff like that. That's fantastic. But if you're not here to debate, then I'm going to move on to somebody else. Is that okay?
I just don't agree with what you were saying about gun reform, and I will debate you on that.
Okay. So you are here to have a conversation. Because if you're not, okay. So what don't you agree with?
So what you were saying as far as mental capacity and getting mental illness checks as far as a gun license or something like that, no, that might not be in place right now, and maybe it needs to be in place. But look at the would-be assassins, or the 2 people that tried to assassinate President Trump. They were on the FBI watch list. The FBI that your former person was just talking about, as far as the FBI being corrupt, they were on that watch list. And why were they not watched more? Well, why was that not stopped? That is a former president of the United States. And no matter if you're left, right, independent, nobody should try to be taking one's life.
Yeah, so I think that, like, number one, like a lot of these gun reform, like just going back saying a lot of the gun reform laws that like we talk about, like part of it is also that, you know, like we need to do a better job enforcing the laws that already exist. And making sure that like the people who shouldn't be accessing firearms are not accessing firearms. So that's like a big part of it. I talk a lot about in Georgia, like, yeah, it's like illegal to not get a firearm without an ID, but like people get firearms in rural Georgia all the time without ID. It's just not something that's enforced. Number 2, yeah, I mean, I think that again, like the FBI is a place that's understaffed, and there's a lot of people to watch and a lot of weapons. This is something, what you're talking about right now is something that we talk about all the time when we average 2 mass shootings a day in the United States, and the leading cause of death for children aged 1 to 19 is firearms. In the United States, kids aged 1 to 19 are 15 times more likely to die from a firearm compared to anywhere else similar to us, like Canada, Mexico, etc. So like the school shooting in Georgia, which was pretty close to me, yeah, that was a 14-year-old who the FBI visited when he said that he was interested in committing a mass shooting at a school. And, you know, they asked him questions, and they you know, did their job. They met him, and then they left. I think that, you know, the goal goes a little bit deeper than that. But even if the FBI, they were on the watch list and they were investigated, that's kind of not the issue almost.
And can I just say one thing? It would have been, if you're talking about this, you bringing up people with mental health issues and like, why did they get guns? It would have been really helpful if in 2017 Donald Trump didn't revoke an Obama era law that placed people with mental illnesses on the national registry for background checks. So if he would have not done that, maybe this guy wouldn't have gotten a firearm. Maybe we wouldn't be talking about this right now. But Donald Trump did really stupid things like this.
Harry, that's controversial to what you said, because you said
Controversial to what I said?
Part of getting a license or part of buying a gun that you don't have to have a mental health check. So which is it?
No, yeah, that's the law right now.
Yeah, no, Harry's saying that the Obama era law would have put certain people on a I think Harry just said required background checks. Is that what you said, Harry?
Yeah, we should also, I believe this was via executive order, so we need to pass more, just a broad gun control bill that includes this, among many other things.
But let's get realistic. Let's get realistic, guys. If you take, because Kamala's words are to buy back the guns.
Which she doesn't believe in anymore, by the way.
Oh, anymore? How?
Well, yeah, so obviously what she was referring to at the time as well is sorry, Harry.
No, you're. I was reading a comment.
What she's referring to now, by the way, was referring to then, is also a voluntary buyback.
You take the guns away from the people that have them just because they collect them, just because they like them.
That's called setting up. Like
former military, they have no wrong action. They don't even hunt. But they have them overall for protection, and then you take those away from them, and the criminals are still going to get them.
Yeah, so a couple of things. So like those buybacks are voluntary buybacks, right? So if you want to hand over your gun, you can. The government.
That's not what Kamala, whatever her name is, said.
Yeah, it is, because mandatory, any type of mandatory buyback is strictly very unconstitutional, and there's nobody who would agree with that, right? We're talking about voluntary buybacks. And also to your point about what if from former military, which again, I want to say your story and your husband's story, genuinely very happy. And I greatly appreciate both of your service from the bottom of my heart. I do.
I have one more thing to say, because I know that there's more people waiting to get on. I have a 22-year-old son who is waiting to join the military.
I appreciate that.
After this administration gets out of office. And I just wish that y'all were led better, because Harry, you mentioned one thing about reading things and having all of these facts, but what you don't realize is that everything that is on the internet right now, all that fact checking that you're doing, and all the media that you're seeing is lies. It is 100% lies.
So wait, when we're citing government data that industries and investors and countries around the world rely on for making moves, right? You're telling me that government data is fake?
And facts about Australia. Are you in Australia, or are you in the United States?
Do you have to be in a country to know something about that country?
To get the other country's facts? Yes.
So also...
Wait. I'm sorry. This is really dumb. Are you saying that people in the United States can't have any understanding of any other country?
I'm saying full credibility. I'm saying full factual information.
So wait, do you think that
you're relying on these sites that you say, you're relying on the media?
Do you think that the accurate information that's given to Australian from the Australian government is only available to the Australian people? You can't just find that online. You can't just go look for the official data from the Australian government. Is this really the argument you want to go with here?
I'm saying that a lot of the
workshop on this one.
A lot of the information that is being put out on the internet right now, and especially on the news outlets, is fake. By
Trump, exactly. So by the Republicans and Trump, yes, exactly. For example, the Haitian migrants eating pets was totally false. It was totally fabricated. It is false. The mayor of the town said it's false. The local police said it's false. The Republican governor of Ohio, who was endorsed by Trump, said it was false. All these people are there's no credible reports.
Of Ohio that are sending videos, and there are police in videos.
And yet the person who put the original report out on Facebook saying that the cat was eaten has retracted that claim, saying it was just a stupid post she made. So all of this spiraled into something, and now random
And the
people are saying,
ducks
"Oh,
in
my
the
cat was
pond with
eaten,"
their necks
and there's no
being
evidence for
snapped?
that.
Yeah, so wait, can I say two things? Number one, the original video Trump posted ended up being an American citizen, a woman. Second of all, the other someone who's actually a Trump supporter who claimed that her cat went missing, and the Trump campaign used somebody went and visited her and asked about her story, and it actually turns out that her cat was in her basement and she lost it, and she shouldn't have said that. So again, like two things. Part of the reason that like I guess Harry and I aren't I guess, quote unquote, led well. Again, this is like, you're talking, I just want to be clear here. You're suggesting that a group of Haitian migrants are so, wait, you gotta let me finish.
That's the Trump campaign claim.
You gotta let me finish. You're claiming, with frankly no evidence, that a group of individuals, Haitian migrants, are so subhuman, such savages, that they're going around to people's yards and grabbing animals and eating them. I want you to take a step back for a second and think about the level.
I want you to take a step back because I didn't even bring that up.
Can I finish speaking, please?
I didn't even bring that up.
Okay, wait, you just one
Hold
sec.
on,
That's
hold
the
on.
Trump campaign claim.
Yeah.
Just for the record. Okay.
Harry brought that up. I didn't even bring that up.
And you defended it. You defended it. Go ahead,
I'm going to say a second thing. I'll move on. But I'm just saying, again, I want you to think when you're the president of the United States, we have not seen this type of hate and racism and division for a long time in American history. It's been a little bit quieter, but it's very loud right now. And when the president of the United States, or who's running to be president, is claiming that a group of migrants who is not white are such savages that they are just grabbing animals and eating them, it's leading to a lot of violence and hate against those communities. Hold on, let me finish, because there are credible reports of Haitian migrants in that community who, by the way, shops in Springfield have said they're some of our hardest workers who are hiding in their homes, who have been beaten, their cars have been broken into. So again, like, these are issues that don't affect us, but do affect other people. Number two, again, part of the reason why it's hard to follow stuff like this is you're just like, on a logic level, you're suggesting some large conspiracy with media companies. It makes no sense. Like, if you're going to make a claim about a lot of what you see on the internet is fake, or I think you actually made the claim all of what you're reading is fake, again, you're going to have to explain to me who is controlling this big cabal and who knows that all the information they're putting out is fake, purposely fake to help Democrats, who at the top knows about it and why it's happening. And if you can't do that, then I think it's completely invalid.
Well, thank you so much for your opinion. I greatly appreciate it. I didn't get into that topic of Ohio or anything like that. I didn't bring that up. All I did was say that there has been videos out there from residents of Ohio, and whether they're real or fake, because of the fact that I said a lot of the videos, a lot of the media, the vocabulary and everything that you're seeing over the past 3.5 years, 4.5 years, 6.5 years, 8.5 years since, Obama was in office, a lot of things have changed. And I do have a 22-year-old son, Chris, the same age as you. And I wish that y'all would get more facts that were...
You're like mad at us for having all these facts and like relying on accurate data, and then you're saying get more facts.
But you're not, Harry.
Really?
You're
not.
not.
Can you give me an example of, you've been in this live, I think, the entire time. Can you give me an example of something that Chris and I said that's like false facts, that's just not true? Or even like in a previous live, if you've been here before, can you give me an example of something?
Well, the fact that you were 14 years old when Trump was in office, you weren't the legal age to vote.
I don't know how that's. I don't know why that matters.
You were in high school. You didn't even.
Do you like Abraham Lincoln?
Yes.
You like it? Wait, why do you like Abraham Lincoln? How can you have an opinion on him? You weren't alive when Abraham Lincoln was president.
He was actually my favorite president.
Okay, exactly. So you weren't alive when Abraham Lincoln was president. How can you have an opinion on him?
Because that's back in the day when media wasn't involved. That is back in the day when the history are in the books.
But how did you learn about him being a good president?
Reading.
Okay, reading. Okay, exactly. So
there was no internet. There was no internet back in the day when I went to school.
I'm sorry, just because somebody writes something in a book doesn't make it automatically true. Just like if somebody writes something on the internet, it's not automatically true. So you being like, well, it's in a book, so it's not on the internet. It's like, that means absolutely nothing. Chris and I can read about the Trump presidency, even if we were younger, and we might have been focused on like our favorite football team on the weekend more so than we were on politics. It doesn't mean that now, not now as adults, we can't pick up a book and read about the Trump presidency and read what he proposed, what he talked about, what he did, and come to a conclusion as to why that presidency is bad. Just like you picked up a book or read an article one day about what Lincoln did and how you came to the conclusion about he was good.
But my question, Harry, is real life. Like you were 14 years old.
My question is also real life.
You were in high school.
Can I answer this now?
You didn't pay any bills.
Yeah, so
that is irrelevant.
Can I answer this? Yeah, so like, not only do I agree that like, again, that's irrelevant, but you're also just like, you are assuming that, again, you're like assuming, it always seems to be an assumption of like, where we're at now or what we do. Like, it's possible for people to experience economic hardship, see prices that are high, deal with high interest rates, and not come to the same conclusion about the cause of those prices. Like, again, this is what I debate all the time on live that people don't understand, which is cause and effect. You're like, oh, you weren't paying bills, things were cheaper. I hear you, but I'm asking you, part of my question is always why? Because you understand that like in 2021, I didn't start TikTok until late 2022. So in 2021 and 2022 and 2023 and part of 2024, right? I have an apartment. I pay bills. In fact, Harry knows very well that I had quite a bit of high interest credit card debt there. I have a couple marks on my credit report, right? And I'm grateful that have a roof over my head and I'm a straight white male in America. I'm fine. Things are fine. But again, it's possible for me to sit at the pump and fill up my car halfway because I don't want to spend the money in my checking account because I have to pay rent and be like, damn, prices for gas are really high. But I can understand the cause and effect more than just, oh, it must be because Biden and move on. I have a deeper understanding of the cause and effect of those things and what Biden's doing to fix those things and what Trump didn't do at the time to make anything better. So again, it's not like we're living in some fucking fantasy land that of just all this money and we don't understand. Like we get it. We just
Chris,
see the cause and effect differently.
I heard you mention to the last person why gas was so low when he was in presidency in 2016, to 2020. And you said COVID, right? But why don't we check the facts of when gas started to go down right when he got in presidency before COVID?
Yeah, so actually, a lot of what I talk about with COVID obviously is when gas is like $1.50. I'm glad that like we agree on that. But again, that's a really like bad way, in my opinion, to look at it. So you're actually right. In 2017 and 18, gas was fairly low. If we look at right now in the United States, the average price for a gallon of gas compared to the average income, it's almost identical right now to what it was in 2017 and 18. Obviously, comparing number to number, saying, oh, it was $2.10 here and now it's $3. That's not a good way. Why don't we compare people's average income to the price? And we see that, oh, actually, gas is pretty cheap. It's pretty much the same as it was in 2017 and 18 because wages. So if that's
the fact and gas is going down to the average of what it was in 2017 and 2018, why are grocery prices still going up and still inflated from the time that Trump was in office? Because these drivers are paying more for gas.
How inflation works. It's how inflation works.
Yeah, so like I'm not like I was talking specifically about gas because again I think it's important to the price.
Yes, but the bottom dollar is that consumers are paying more for everyday living. But she's promising all of these things that she's going to do while in presidency that has not happened the 3.5 years that she's been in office.
I think my point just quickly was that it's possible for things to be more expensive, but everybody is making more money. So that's a really important fact.
No, they're not.
Okay, yes, but statistics, every single statistic.
Because you're speaking for my income and how I've gotten a raise
the average American.
I'm talking about the average American. Again, the same data that was released under the Trump presidency from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and CPS data and all that. Like same data would show that like inflation and wages have been outpacing inflation for a while now, and especially low and middle income workers are making significantly more money now. Obviously, a lot of it has been offset from inflation, but that would change the dynamic. So we can't say, oh, gas is $3.50 and not account for the fact that on average, people are making way more money. I'm not saying that money necessarily takes them way further. I'm just saying that is a really important like economic data point.
Also, the prices of groceries is more expensive now than it was under like George Bush. Like, why won't the prices go down? Right? That doesn't sound very intelligent, does it?
To make things more affordable for the American people, yes, it does.
That's like, but
When
it's not a
incomes are
thing that
not
the president.
rising.
It's not a thing that the president of the United States does. There's inflation every single year, right? So like, you can't.
And the Federal Reserve and the interest rates, and now, oh my gosh, right before election day, they're going to cut interest rates.
Inflation is down, so interest rates will go down. The reason that interest rates were high was to combat inflation.
So again,
I would argue that the 1 sec, Chris. I would argue that the 0.5% cut was late. That it should have happened earlier. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just going to say, like, again, this is where people are going to get kind of upset with the idea of that, like, again, you just suggested, I inferred, you implied that the Fed is making decisions to benefit a political party in the election season. Again, you are implying that there is some larger conspiracy at stake. And this is why people get very frustrated with kind of the Trump and MAGA world. Because right now, if let's say the Fed today, let's just say the Fed cut interest rates by a fourth of a basis point instead of half, and let's say the market reacted really poorly and we're down like 3% today, you would be on this live talking about, of course, Kamala Harris's, crash, the economy, all this. But because the Fed decided to cut half a rate and we're up, the stock market is ripping and hits like its 19th all-time high today, it's, they're doing it for Kamala Harris. It can never just be, like, in your world, what you are actively admitting is that it can't just be, actually, it's good that like inflation has lowered and maybe some of these Biden administration policies have done well, and now we're like, the economy's looking up. It can never be that. It's always got to be some conspiracy to like oust Trump. Maybe it's just possible that like inflation dropped very quickly in the United States and now we're ready to cut rates.
I don't agree with that, Chris, but
okay, why would we not?
Like I said when I first got on here, is there are many reasons why you believe to support either party. And unfortunately, I believe that the party that you are supporting is a bunch of lies and corruption. And not to say that Donald Trump is the most honest person in the world, but I wasn't 14 when he was in office, and I had more money in my pocket when he was in office, and I had better support.
Can I ask
and no wars, and our military was safe.
Wait,
not
so
true.
before
wait, 1 sec, Chris. More American soldiers died abroad under Donald Trump than under Joe Biden. So I don't know where you're getting this idea that our military was more safe. And he also stopped going to dignified transfers of American soldiers.
I'm not going to argue with that because I know too many people in the military, and what you're reading, Harry, is 100% false. But you go ahead and believe. You go ahead and believe what you believe because you're not in the military.
It's government data.
You can't access government data. It's protected.
The government reports on what American soldiers and how many American soldiers die. This is public information. You can look this up yourself.
No government data is public information, Harry.
What? How do you? What do you think? Wait.
As far as the military.
So wait. When the 13 American soldiers died in Afghanistan.
Secret Service clearance.
What? Oh no.
For military, not for all government.
No. So when the 13 American soldiers died in Afghanistan that Donald Trump continues to cite, is he like breaking a law when he talks about that number because it's covered by Secret Service?
That was aired by your media.
So wouldn't that?
But why do you trust that? But wait, why do you trust that number? Because it was reported by the government to the media. They put out a statement talking about the number of soldiers that died.
And are you talking about how your administration made a bad decision on that?
No, wait. Time out. No. That has nothing to do. We can talk about the Afghanistan decision in a second. That's irrelevant from what we're discussing right now. The point is that the government reports on American soldiers who die. They don't just like leave it up in the air. So the government, over a 4-year period under Donald Trump, report more soldier deaths than they have under Joe Biden. So you're saying that we were more safe under Donald Trump, or the military is more safe. In raw numbers, that's not true.
So what are your facts for American soldiers dying under Donald Trump versus Biden and Harris?
You want me to pull it up for you? Yes, I do.
Absolutely. And also how Harris reported in her debate the other day that we have no soldiers in war zones, and that's not true either.
Yeah, so again, like, I think the point there was the point Harry's trying to make as well, which is like talking about active war zones, right? So when Joe Biden pulled us out of Afghanistan, obviously there's still U.S. military forces across the world who are like engaging in action. But I think what Kamala Harris was trying to say there is, and like, we are not actively involved in places like Afghanistan or, active
Oh, so
wars.
she gets to pick and choose what
No,
she
I
considers
think
a war zone?
again, Texas. I think Kamala Harris may have misspoke there, but I don't think that.
Oh,
So again, I don't know that why the suggestion is like Kamala Harris or Joe Biden don't care about like the military, right? I think that like there's far more evidence for that under Donald Trump.
Right now, the numbers, and Biden hasn't finished his term, but right now the number is 16 for Biden, 65 for Donald Trump. And it's according to the hostile action records compiled by the Defense Casualty Analysis System, which is maintained by a government defense agency.
and where were the 65 killed, Harry?
In different places. Most of them were in Afghanistan. 45 of them were in Afghanistan specifically.
Yes. However, there was an active.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the entire
kind of the point.
That's the
That's the
point. Is
point.
that there was an active.
Yes, but people dying in an active war versus
But
a
that's-
president
that's the
pulling them
whole
out and
entire
getting them
point.
murdered.
You're making
That's
the point is that Joe Biden and the Harris
I'm
administration
done.
pulled us out of an active war zone. That's
Yeah,
the whole
and,
point.
and now America's not in an active war right now. We are in less war under Biden and Harris than we are under Donald
The
Trump.
billions of dollars that we've given to Ukraine.
okay, so can I
Can you stay on topic by any chance? It's just remarkable. But the point is
I'm
that
talking
getting out of
about a war that's
Afghanistan,
going on that
getting
we're
out of
supporting.
Afghanistan also, we are not directly involved in Ukraine in terms of troops on the ground. So in terms of troops on the ground and soldiers being in
That's
war,
what
we
you
are not in
mean.
war right now. But also, the point is that the Biden-Harris administration has made us safer by getting us out of Afghanistan, where the majority of combat deaths took place under Donald Trump. And it's factually incorrect to say that the military was safer under Donald Trump than it was under Joe Biden. And might I add that there were 109 U.S. soldiers who were the victims of a strike by Iran. They all got traumatic brain injuries under Donald Trump in 2020.
There's a difference, Harry, of losing your life in an actual war zone to where you're asked to be pulling out of a war zone and you're supposed to jump on a plane and you get sabotaged and murdered.
Yeah, so again, I think like
Wait, what?
yeah, so hold on. To the original point, again, I want to make it clear that like it was like you know
I'm done. Goodbye, y'all.
all right. All right.
I'll let you find your way out.
Wow.
Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
she walked into her own point there at the last
Yeah.
part.
Alana, thank you for the $5 saying I spoke with Michael Cohen again tonight. He brought up your appearance on his show, and I can't wait. We are so lucky to have you on our side. Couldn't have done.
Wait,
all
what?
my
You went on
doors to
Michael
doors.
Cohen's show?
Yeah, I went on his podcast.
When?
Thank you for always being unapologetically you. Thank you, Killer. I appreciate
When'd you
you.
do
I'm
that?
excited. Like last week.
Oh,
The
shit,
same,
I didn't know
same
that.
day I went on Piers Morgan.
Oh, damn, that's fire.
Alex, thank you for the $2 saying, love your
bro.
videos from Burlington, Vermont. All the way up there. I appreciate it. Kimberly, thank you for the $10 saying I'm in Texas. The level of uneducated frustrates me too. Tell me about it. Kira, thank you for the $5 saying anyone who acts like the Second Amendment is more of value than a child's life makes me sick. They don't care until it's their child. It's a really good point. And that's like, I don't think that anybody's right to an AR-15 is more important than a child's right to go to school and like not die. Ben, thank you for the $5 as well, man, saying, Harry, I don't know how you do this. These guests are insufferable. You're amazing. Ben, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here. It means a lot. You're always here, always supporting. You're the GOAT. I hope you know that. And Taylor J, thank you for the $15. Favorite activity after work? I'm glad that we can be that for you. Venmo Cash App in the link in bio if you want to support the live. Chris's Venmo and Cash App is the exact same as his TikTok username. Drop a follow if you haven't already. Double tap the screen, all that good stuff.
You guys should check out Harry's most recent YouTube video as well. There's a link in his bio. I'm sure it's killer. Jessica, thank you so much for $10 on Venmo. Kitchen skills because you know how to cook. Jessica, you're very kind. I appreciate you.
No, he doesn't.
What?
Bro, this dude doesn't know how to cook.
Oh, no, bro, it's
Never mind. Thank you guys so much. I was also going to say, congrats on fucking Cullen, dude. I didn't know that. That's sick.
Yeah. You might say we're friends.
Excuse me.
I know Michael. He's a really good guy. Michael's awesome.
That's good. That's dope.
Let him cook. Oh wait, they didn't mean like. Okay.
Yeah. I know. I didn't know if you knew that.
Nah. Well, what the hell's going, bro?
I know, dude. My TikTok's been fucking with my lighting so much like that.
It's terrible. Joey, why you MAGA, bro?
What's up?
What's up, man?
I'm not a MAGA.
So what are we doing here, Joey?
Well, you fail to realize what most of the people are.
Here we go.
Inform us, Joey.
Right in the middle.
Okay, so who are you voting for, Joey?
I'm not voting.
Okay, you have the rest of your night.
Dude, guys, I'm sorry. I could get behind this up until recently. There is no, if you are not voting, you are not in the middle, okay? This is the difference between an administration who goes out like Joe Biden ate ice cream. Kamala Harris is super kind, cool, collected, and they pass a bunch of money for VA healthcare, infrastructure, etc. Versus a guy who did none of that, brags about sexual abuse, is a convicted felon, tried to overturn an election, talks about Haitian migrants eating animals because he's so hateful. He lies so much. There is no in the middle. There isn't. It does not exist. I'm sorry.
God.
It doesn't exist.
Y'all be doing Peloton? Y'all be doing Peloton? Anybody be doing Peloton in the chat? Anybody at Peloton?
Bro, nobody has $9,000 fucking dollars to pay for Peloton, man. No, okay. I know you don't have a Peloton. I know there's Pelotons in the gym.
Well, this guy's never coming back to my live ever again. I hope everybody knows. I hope everybody enjoys
Harris for president.
Okay. That's Chris having his little moment, everybody. Let him be. Trev, what's up, man? Are you MAGA?
Here's what I am. Do you know why you're a fraud? Because you use Alabama in college football.
That's right. That's fucking right. Yo,
Me
W
and Chris
Trev
can
in the
both
chat.
agree
That's
on that.
right.
Hold on.
Huge
Hold the fuck
W
on.
Trev.
Chris uses
Let's
Oregon.
fucking go.
He uses
Woo!
Oregon, a higher rated
Dude,
team.
I used
Jalen
Oregon
Noel
one
is OP.
time. I used fucking
You
Oregon
are
one time.
such a bum,
Dude,
Chris. You are such a bum.
I play Harry with teams below 90 all the time. I played Harry with Kennesaw State and won.
And he got cooked.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you could. Yeah, okay. All right. Yo, W Trev right here.
Now, Trev, who do you play with?
Akron Zips. Look it
See?
up.
Who?
See, that takes skill. See, Trev,
Mac.
that takes skill.
Mac Conference.
Yo,
exactly. I
My
guarantee they're
bad.
like a
I want to
75
win. You know,
overall.
Chris goes, "Oh, I have such a bad team. Why did I lose?" He's not playing to win.
Well, sorry,
He's not playing to
you
win.
can't just run 4 verts with a 99 overall receiver. You actually have to have some skill like Trev right here to use a 75 overall
Excuse
team.
me, I have so much skill when
Let's
I'm
go,
dropping
Trev.
Chris off, and it's 51-7 in the first quarter.
Do you use the Chiefs in Madden?
He does. He does.
It's not true. That's not true. I don't use the Chiefs in Madden. I don't.
Or Lamar.
I might use Lamar. anyway, all right, Trev,
Yo,
get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here, Trev.
Yo,
Get the hell out of here, Trev.
Trev. Holy shit.
Get the hell out of here, Trev.
I hope you're voting for Kamala Harris. Wait, what the hell?
What?
I didn't know Luke Beasley interviewed Laura Loomer.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he did a long time ago. It's an old interview.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yo, what's up?
Sean,
Are you MAGA, buddy?
I am MAGA.
Longhorns, Bren.
Huh?
Not a fan.
I know you're not. I know you're not. I've actually talked to you a long time ago. There's a lot of different. Relax, Chris. It's all right, man. Actually, me and Parker. I'm not Parker. I'm sorry. Me and you, Harry. We had actually a good conversation. It ended you saying, "Oh, you're actually a really nice guy," and blah blah blah. So we'll see if I can keep that up in this live. But so there's a lot of different ways. Hope that's not at me, brother.
No, it was for a sub, dude. It's for a sub, bro.
I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing. There's a lot of different ways I want to go. I'm not too savvy on policies, but I do like what he did with the Abraham Accord. And to be honest with you, it's like, well, now it's like kind of screwed up, in my opinion, because everything that's going on with Israel and Gaza and all that. But
it didn't include Palestine.
It didn't include Palestine, but it had Saudi Arabia, right? And so Israel needed somebody like Saudi Arabia to have their back in a lot of things. And so that's one thing I like that Trump did. And the other thing,
well, they haven't really normalized relations yet, though. Saudi Arabia and Israel.
Exactly.
That was like something that we're working toward right now.
I just feel like it's kind of screwed up with the whole, Gaza thing going on, and in my personal opinion.
I mean, okay. Sorry. I mean, okay. I don't think like the Abraham Accords was like a revolutionary deal that like solved a bunch of problems. I think it like normalized relations between some countries that already had like normalized relations. It was just more formal, but sure.
All right, fair enough. And then I guess the only other policy I really know is what's the one for the vaccine? They got it real quick. What is it called?
Operation Warp Speed.
Operation Warp Speed.
You're a fan of that?
Huh?
You're a fan of that?
I'm only a fan of it because our country needed to open up, And then I think that, I personally didn't take the vaccine, but anybody that needed to get the vaccine or wanted the vaccine, rather, it opened things up a lot quicker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm a fan of Operation Warp Speed too. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad the funding for the vaccine was there. But, Trump's the same guy who now like advocates against this vaccine. He's like, I won't give any money to any school that has a vaccine mandate. So if you like mandate the polio vaccine now, apparently under Trump, you won't get any funding, which is like ridiculous. It's insane.
Well, I don't know about. I'd have to check on that one, dude.
No, he said any school that has a vaccine mandate they will not get funding. So if you have a vaccine mandate for something like measles or polio or just any other highly infectious disease that can kill people or have really really bad consequences for them, that school won't get funding.
Yeah, there's a illness called being friends with Harry. It's really contagious these days, and it's really negative for your health. I mean, this guy fucking spam calls me every day, like bitching about something else.
Really, you want to look at the phone log?
Whatever you want. You can show me whatever you want.
Want to look at the phone log? Pretty sure. Yeah, 1, 2. I got 3 missed calls from Chris yesterday, and I called him back. But 3 missed calls from Chris.
I just want to be clear here. I'm not seeing that on my side.
Of course you're not.
No judgment, man. No judgment. No judgment.
No judgment, Chris. No judgment, Chris. It's okay, man. You're good.
But I do have a question for you guys. So it seems like, well, first of all, I think that, I'm going to go to the debate. First of all, I think that, as you guys would say, cooked. I think, honestly, I am a Trump supporter, but I do believe he did get cooked. I also think, though, at the same time, it's like Kamala Harris did kind of like flip-flop on some things, like with the fracking thing, right? Like at first she's against fracking, and all of a sudden she's for fracking, and then Trump will say he's for something else, and then she'll all of a ssudden flip the script and say that she's an advocate for something. And it just doesn't seem like, and then people bring up, well, what could she have done in the last 3.5 years? Well, she says, well, I'm going to do this, this, and this when she's implemented, or if she gets in office, rather. But she hasn't done any of this stuff yet.
Well, that's not true. I think the Biden-Harris administration have accomplished a lot of what they wanted to do. They wanted to get an infrastructure bill passed. They did. They wanted to expand veterans health care. They did. They wanted to fight climate change with a huge investment. They did. They wanted to beat Big Pharma multiple times. They did. But, that's amazing work, but there's still more work to be done. That's what Kamala Harris wants to do. We want to build upon that progress. The argument is never that, if we elect a Democratic president one time, then everything's going to be dandy. We don't have to do it again. It's like, no, we want to build upon progress and keep moving the country forward.
Okay. I want to bring up one more thing. So I've heard a lot of people say about the border bill and how Trump blocked what is it called? The bipartisan? Is that what you call it?
Bipartisan border bill. That's right.
The bipartisan border bill coming in. And I was hearing from a podcast. It was actually from Tulsi Gabbard. Is that how you say it?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, uh-huh.
Well, she was saying, I don't know. I mean, I haven't checked it, so I can't say for sure. But she was saying something along the lines that, first of all, in a lot of bills, they try to add other stuff to it, right? So they try to shove other things that are either less important or deemed more important, and they kind of put a bunch of stuff in one bill, right? Yeah. And so she was saying there's a lot of that going on. But she was also saying that part of it was, once they hit a 5,000 person cap a day or something like that, that that's only when they will stop people from coming in, and then it redoes it the next day. So let's say Monday, they hit their 5,000 person quota that they had to stop, and then the next day it goes back into play. So it's like a continuous thing every day. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so there wasn't much more in the bill. It was the immigration bill was just strictly an immigration bill. There was a time when a Ukraine funding bill and the immigration bill were together, but we split it up and we voted on the Ukraine bill, which passed, and then the immigration bill Republicans continue to vote against. And the cap that you're referencing is being described in a really disingenuous way by Tulsi Gabbard, because right now there's no cap, none. So we could have, like,
right now, but I'm saying
so exactly. So if there's a cap in place, that means that if there are, a bunch of people coming to the country or a bunch of asylum claims, so much so that we couldn't process them as a country in an effective manner, that cap is now implemented. Whereas right now there could be 40,000 in a day, right? So it's not saying, hey, 5,000 people. And by the way, right now we don't have anywhere close to 5,000 coming in a day.
Can you say that one last time, dude? I'm sorry, bro.
Which part?
About the 5,000 coming in, about the cap.
Yeah, okay.
That's my fault, dude.
No, you're good. No, I totally understand. Because a lot of Republicans describe this in a bad way. So essentially, right now, there's no cap. There's none. There's no limit. So theoretically, 40,000 could come in a day, and a 40,000 could come in the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, seek asylum, right? Because the laws on asylum are really weak right now. They need to be reformed. But with that bill, not only would it have reformed the laws around asylum, so this might not have even been an issue, but it also caps it. So instead of theoretically there being 40,000, 40,000, 40,000, there would be a cap at 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, and then they get to shut down the border. If that cap is hit, the president is then given the ability to shut down the border and further restrict asylum-seeking people from coming in.
Well, I guess the argument would be that she's saying that we should just we shouldn't even have that limit. We should just be like,
why?
Because there's so many people. There's so many people coming in, dude. Okay, so I'll give you an example. My stepbrother's from Ecuador. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to go all the way across, Central America and go into Mexico, so he did it the correct way. He got his green card renewed. Amazing. So it's not fair to other people, and a lot of these people, what is it, like 6 years? They have to go back to their court case when they seek asylum or something like that. It just doesn't make sense where somebody from Europe that doesn't want to go, through Mexico or wherever can come through and then say, oh, I need asylum. But then, I'm just making up a name like Jorge from wherever can just walk through.
So to be clear, I'm not sure about that. The bill.
Oh man, this man's so wrong.
I'm
not sure about that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, by the way. I'm not sure about it. I'm not sure if that's what I. Anyway.
Anyways, whatever.
So first of all, that bill, the
Chris laughing, dude?
No, I'm rubbing. My eyes are like
the wait time that you reference with asylum would have been solved by that bill. We wanted to expand immigration courts. Republicans reject that reform. So with that bill, we would have been able to get to every single asylum case from now on in under 6 months. Republicans rejected that bill, so the backlog is still 5 to 7 years. There's just not enough judges, and the immigration courts are not big enough to address all of these people. And also, the asylum laws are too vague and too lax, to the point where people where asylum doesn't apply to them, they can basically pass a simple test that's given at the border, which is called a credible threat interview, and they can get in seeking asylum, even if it doesn't apply to them, and even if they don't fall under the necessary requirements to seek asylum and things like that. That bill would have solved all of these things. Republicans rejected that bill. And furthermore, when you're talking about green cards and work permits, Trump tried to reduce the amount of work permits and green cards we give out every single year, trying to reduce legal immigration. So it's like,
dude, holy shit, that's crazy.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, man. I'm going to do some more research, dude. I'm going to come back better prepared, because I haven't done enough research. But I will say that just all in all, bro, like, I mean, you've probably heard this before, but obviously because you see the cross on my shirt, so I am a Christian. And I just think that a lot of the different stuff that's being pushed by the left, I'm not saying you or Chris or anybody else, but a lot of the politics, a lot of what they stand for is totally against Christianity, And And I know like someone would say, oh, well, you know, Biden, he's a Catholic. Well, what kind of Catholic advocates for some of the stuff that was going on? Dude?
like what?
Abortion, you know, cutting off, you know, gender affirming care, things like that, dude. And so if you read, if anybody that reads their Bible, I'm not saying Trump's perfect. I'm not saying he's a messiah. You know, I don't even know if I'd invite him over for dinner necessarily, but.
And you're gonna, oh my god.
Do you have kids?
No, listen.
Do you have kids?
Well, listen, dude.
So painful. Listen, I gotta be honest. It's just
wait,
painful.
Sean, really quickly, quick.
Tries to put what? Go
Quick
ahead.
question. Sorry. Do you have kids?
I do not.
Okay. If you did have kids, would you do you think you would like let Donald Trump babysit them?
I have no idea, man.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely wouldn't. You definitely would. And if you would, then golly.
Continue. Sorry. Continue.
No, I mean just the stuff that some of the left pushes, dude. It just doesn't. If you're a Christian and you read the Bible, like what is in the Bible, what the left is pushing goes totally against Christianity. And so I think it's ridiculous when and I'm not saying Trump, like I said, I'm not saying Trump's like the best, beautiful man on the world or anything. Far from that. But will I say that a lot of the regulations and rules and stuff that they advocate for is more in line with what the Bible teaches. If it was with Trump or without Trump, I'm just saying, just to let the right in general.
Really? I think that, like, you know, the Democrats generally do. We're more in favor of taking care of the less well-off, accepting everybody, loving people, caring for people, being empathetic. I don't think the Republicans have any of that.
Gender affirming care is right, though, man. I mean, that ain't
Gender affirming for like adults?
For children.
Yeah, so the only gender affirming care that's given to children can be hormones that are reversible for the, you know, first and foremost. And it's mostly just like social transitioning, aka like pronouns, maybe dressing in the gender that they want to associate with, and maybe their new name. It's extremely rare that surgeries are done on kids.
I mean, because kids don't even know, their brains aren't even fully formed yet, dude.
That's why that's why it's extremely rare that surgeries are done. And in the rare circumstances, they're only done in which a doctor consults, the parents consult, and more experts in psychologists, for example, that consult on this stuff, and they all come to an agreement that it'd be best for the person in question to have a surgery.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It just doesn't happen, my man. It just doesn't happen. And I don't know why gender affirming care is against the Bible. If this would like,
because they have.
Why? Because like if a kid is like struggling mentally, right? They are they want to identify as another gender. They are a different gender, right? And you think it'd be more in line with Christianity to deny them that ability to be happy and let them suffer, as opposed to listening to them and following their wishes and consulting with doctors and getting them the care that they need? You think, really?
Yeah, I just don't think that it just doesn't make any sense, man. It's like somebody with like PTSD or bipolar or whatever. Like, you know, you gotta seek. I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole gender thing. I don't agree with it, dude. I've got a friend struggling with that stuff.
But you don't have to agree with it to recognize that this is something that doctors and scientists generally have studied extensively. And we have a bunch of evidence backing up the fact that, you know, people who need this care, when they get that care, gender affirming care, their quality of life goes up. Their happiness goes up. Things like that.
Don't you think kind of like the media and society and stuff like that has kind of pushed that whole thing?
No.
For sure it has, dude.
Yeah, so Sean,
I live in California, man. Like, I say, like, it was like some study that came out, like 35% of all children from like, it was like 11 to like 17 believed that they were in the wrong body. Like, that's
just
crazy,
not true.
dude.
So
it's not true.
So, but here's the thing. I do want to point out quickly, like, again, a lot of this is going to be about, a lot of this is going to be like you know, doctors and the things that they've studied for years and years and years, and it may not make sense, you know, like I'm a straight white male, right? Somebody like who is going through something like this, whatever age, it might not make sense a doctor's treatment plan for that person, but I think that like we should put faith in our doctors and take the government out of those decisions. If the doctor and the child and a guardian and a psychiatrist all agree like, hey, this is the right path, I don't understand why the government or anyone else should have a say in that, right? Like, for example, and I use this example a lot because it puts in perspective. Like when I started TikTok it was really like January of 2023, I went to an out of patient program for depression. So it was 8 weeks long, and it was like every day, 5 days a week from like 9 to 4, right? A lot of stuff I did in there didn't make any sense. It made no sense to me, right? But these are treatment plans that are like very well set up with like formulated levels of success. It's not really my place to be like, well, why the fuck am I doing it? It makes no sense. I think to myself like, oh, the doctors probably like have a good reason to do this, and these things have been like studied for a while. So like same concept. I don't understand why like if we're not doctors, why we would expect to understand treatment plans that doctors put forth. I think if a doctor puts forth a treatment plan for like a child. For like any type of gender reaffirming care, et cetera, then if the guardian agrees with it and the doctor agrees with it, I don't understand the issue.
I don't know, man. I think it's, how do I say it? I mean, honestly, because I'm a Christian, I think it's kind of like a demonic agenda to kind of like.
What the fuck does that even mean? What does that even mean?
Dude, if you believe in the Bible, right? It's like, you've got the enemy and you've got like Christ, right? And if you have things that go against the Bible, it's obviously fueled by darkness, dude. And I just don't think like all this confusion for instance, like I have PTSD. I've had major things happen to me, right? So for me going through my stuff, you can't say that was from God. That was from a darkness that was trying to get me confused, trying to get me not to believe in God, trying to get me to do all the substances, which I used to do. I'm trying to be careful with my words, trying to get me, my story is crazy, dude. Taken against my will, and it's all kinds of stuff have happened, dude. Like a substance deal gone bad, and so what I'm trying to say is, dude, is like there's a darkness out there. You know what I mean? There's stuff that's coming against the good and the love of Jesus. Now, if Jesus was back on this earth today, he'd be going to strip clubs. He'd be going to the homeless. He wouldn't even be spending as much time and, he wouldn't be going to church a lot,
He'd be going to strip clubs?
Well, he'd be pulling them out, dude. He'd be going on the streets helping those girls, Meaning if Jesus was here today, he'd be going.
Why would the number one thing that Jesus would do is pulling people out of strip clubs? Like, why would be the number one thing? Like you could be like curing children of cancer, and you went with pulling people out.
Well, he's doing that too. He'd be going to hospitals, clearing out hospitals, because he came for the sinner. Is my point, dude. He came for the person that's in bondage. You can't tell me most of those girls aren't in bondage, bro.
I think girls are. I think just like.
Or he'd be going to motels, dude. Or he'd be going on the streets to help the homeless.
Hold on. I do think I do think that like a lot of, if like women are providing a service like that and people are paying for the service, I think they're working just like you or I would work. I don't know how that would be them sinning or in bondage. I'm not saying they all are in. I don't know anyone's personal situation, but why I feel like you're just kind of labeled an entire group of people.
Yeah.
There's always an exception to the rule, bro. But for the most part, bro, if you're doing those kind of like that kind of stuff, like that's
why.
I don't understand why. Like if a woman wants to work in a strip club, what's the problem with that?
Maybe they went through trauma.
What if they like working in a strip club and they're just like good at what they do? Because objectively, they're making money. I mean, they're good at what they do.
And some of these people that work in this club make like a lot of money.
Of course they do.
So why is that bad?
It's not bad that they make money. It's bad of how they're obtaining the money.
Why?
Because they're taking.
Oh, convenient.
Like how I think, I don't know if I can say the P word, the POR, the rest of it. I think like that's crazy, dude. When I was young, bro, you were lucky if you found your like stepdad's like Playboy.
What is going on, dude?
Now it's like, dude, this is crazy.
Now it's like any kid is like can get this stuff on their fingertips, dude.
Well, we're not saying we're not saying that kids should have access to that by any stretch of the imagination, right? But the point is that if a woman and a consenting adult wants to do this as her occupation, and she probably makes a really good living from doing it, then I don't understand why Jesus would want to pull them out of doing it.
Because a lot of them are addicted to substances. A lot of them have probably traumatic issues. Some of them probably go way beyond than just extra services. So all those kind of things.
Dude, they're like, okay, I don't know. Like, I mean, I understand that we're not talking about like policy. We're talking more about like religion and such. But again, like, I'm just kind of uncomfortable with the idea that we're like just labeling an entire group of people as like, as this. Like, again, women who are like working, even if they're doing things that like let's say prostitution that may not be legal, but they're being like a service, or they're in like a strip club. Again, they're objectively good at what they do, and if they make money doing it, I'm not speaking for everyone's situation. Obviously, like everyone's situation is different, especially in situations like that where you can. That's part of why like things like prostitution should be legalized so that we can make them safer. But again, if you're just providing a service and you're objectively good at what you do, and people are paying you for that service, like shit, props to you, bro. That's why I don't understand. Like, that's why I don't understand why dudes get upset. Like, she made $70,000 on OnlyFans. I'm like, fuck, dude. She must be killer at what she does. Yeah. And the only people who complain about it are the people paying her to do it. So, like, come on.
Yeah.
The point I was trying to make, dude, is Jesus wouldn't be spending time in church. He'd be helping all kinds of people. That was my point.
And he'd be yanking Trump out of politics. He'd be yanking Trump out of politics.
Well, here's the thing, dude. God can use whoever he wants to use to get the job done, right? So I don't know how familiar you are with the Bible. Are you familiar with the Bible or not really?
Yeah, I used to go to Christian Catholic school for front time.
Well, see, I didn't grow up in any church, dude. So I didn't. Anyways, but do you know who Nebuchadnezzar is?
Do I know who Nebuchadnezzar is?
Nebuchadnezzar.
Oh no, I don't know.
Okay, so he was the king of either Assyria or Babylon. I can't remember right now. But basically, he was a wicked king, but God used him to help the Israelites. So what I'm saying is God can help whoever he wants to get the job done. I just think that...
I know that's the argument you're making. I'm saying that if Jesus came back to earth right now, and he has the powers which some religions claims that he does, then he would be pulling Trump out of politics.
That I can't. I'm not Jesus. I can't answer that.
Wait.
Well, you were saying that he would go into strip clubs and take the women out. So why aren't you Jesus now?
Well, I think Jesus would rebuke him, dude, for sure. But
no, Jesus would grab him by the ear and yank him out and throw him on the side of the road. Say, get the hell out of here.
But you don't know what Kamala's like, dude.
No, she's somebody that actually cares.
She's somebody on stage.
Or Sean, Sean,
she's fought for people her entire life, man.
Sean, if Jesus came down right now. He may decide to force Trump to carry his campaign to term just so he can lose and go to prison. That's a possibility too.
Dude, I think that Kamala's hiding a lot of stuff.
No one really? Wow. Okay.
I think Kamala's hiding a lot of
2 out of
stuff.
10.
I just think it's.
I'm sorry. Just wait. Just to be clear, Kamala Harris is hiding a lot of stuff, but Donald Trump, the serial liar who has like many different assault claims against him and a lot of different secrets, a lot of different fraud, he's not hiding anything. No.
I mean, the whole E. Jean Carroll thing, dude, that's just sketchy in itself, dude. I mean, I can't. Jesus Christ. I mean, come on, dude. Come on, bro.
Okay. Yeah. It's so sketchy, I'm sure. Okay. All right, man.
Yo, Sean, appreciate you being kind, man.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Sean. Yeah, be safe, man. We live in a society.
Yeah, if Jesus was here,
Nurse
man.
Heather, I appreciate you. You're amazing.
He'd be mocking Chris, bro. That's for sure. God damn, that fit sucks. Jonah, thank you for the $1, man. Off topic, what's your favorite football team? The Giants and Penn State. Faith, thank you for the $1. May I come up? Yeah, if you press up for sure.
Bren, thank you so much for $5.
No, not done yet, Chris. Bren, thank you for the $5. I still love you for giving Longhorns a big L. Just remember, number one, hook 'em. You are the number one team in the nation right now.
What were you saying?
Molly, thank you for the $5. This guy's so wrong. Christians for Harris, thanks for everything you do. Appreciate you, Molly. Venmo Cash App in the link in the bio if you want to support the live. Chris's Venmo and Cash App is the same as his TikTok username.
Oh my God, it's already
Can you shut the hell up for 5 minutes? Are you capable?
No, I'm here. I'm not.
Drop a follow if you haven't already. Double tap the screen. God, does this guy ever stop talking? I mean, can anybody in the chat back me up? Does this guy ever just zip it, bro? Oh my God, dude. Oh my God, bro. Does this guy ever stop? Sheesh, man. No, we love Chris, man. We love Chris. Even though this dude's trash, he's bad at NCAA, like really bad at
I've
NCAA.
gotta go live on Twitch soon, dude.
Yeah, I gotta go do Peloton. I gotta go do Peloton.
Dude,
Everybody friend me on Peloton. I'll give everybody my username and go friend me on Peloton.
Dude, I should go play tennis. I should go to the tennis courts.
I gotta go fucking pump rocks.
This kid's never pumped iron. Is that? Yo, Bren, thank you so much for $5 on Venmo, Bren. I love you, Bren. You are so kind. Harry gave my team a big L. Go Longhorns. Hook 'em. #1 since 2008. Love you. And not have Harry so much. Wait, I'm sorry. I love you and Harry so much. I need this live tonight, I think is what it was supposed to say. Thank you so much, Bren. I love you. Yolanda, thanks for the gift. I appreciate you. You're incredible. You guys are all amazing.
Reading and Chris are not quite compatible.
Sorry. I can't learn a TikTok dance every once in a while. Fuck, man. No one lets me be happy. Sorry. We should let some serious MAGA dude up so I can scream at him about how he's dumb.
Thank you, E, for the future. Yeah, I gotta scream at somebody before I go. Sorry, I was fixing the.
Yo, you can only come up here right now if you're like mega MAGA. Like if you're like just like an absolute menace.
Yeah, you have to be like super MAGA. If you're like undecided, we'll definitely talk to you, just not today.
Yo, holy shit! Thank you so much. Can I get a huge W in the chat for Lena? $20. You're incredible. Thank you so much. Your new nickname is Bankhead Chris. Man, I don't.
Nice, dude. That's kind of fire.
Wait, what? What? What is that?
Yo, Jonah, thank you for the $2. What would you say or do to meet to Trump?
Yo, can you shut up for a second? Thank you. What is Bankhead?
It's my life.
What is Bankhead Chris? What does that mean? Oh, there's actually a neighborhood in Atlanta, Georgia, where I live, where I'm from.
Hey, yeah, guys, give this guy an opportunity to bring up Atlanta. He will. You know, like I'll just be like, yo, dude. So I was like walking on the street, dude. There are like so many streets in Atlanta, bro. You gotta like check it out. Be like, all right, bro. I was like going to the store, dude. There are so many stores in Atlanta. Oh my god.
Can I tell you guys something real quick? I asked Harry today. He said I was on the phone with Harry today driving. He said, yeah, I went to the grocery to get some food. I said, how'd you get to the grocery? Did you like walk? This kid started laughing at me, so angry. He's like, I don't like, dude, are you like, we're in the middle of Manhattan. Of course I walked. Oh, sorry, bro. I couldn't walk to my fucking grocery store if I wanted to. It'd take me 2 hours. There's not even sidewalks for half the walk. Sorry, I live in the normal fucking America.
Bro,
okay?
you're first of all, your state doesn't invest in infrastructure. Why don't you get Governor Kemp on that?
I'm trying to turn that around right fucking now. You're always, oh, why do you live in Georgia? Because I'm trying to make sure we're blue, buddy. That's why.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why.
Because it's actually because I like the Georgia peaches. I'm a failure. I failed everyone else. Yo, Jordan, what's up, brother?
What's up, Jordan? Dude, come on.
What's good, gentlemen? How are you?
Another day, another dollar, man. Well, how can we help you?
I can't believe that. I can't believe my brother in Christ just said that, bro.
It's just what I say to people. Like, that's what most people say. It's like a saying at work. They say that at AT&T all the time.
What work, bro?
Another day, another dollar at AT&T. Another day, another dollar.
All right, Jordan, why are you MAGA?
Because Trump's the best for the country when it comes to economy.
How old are you,
the border? 27.
What year were you born?
97.
I think that adds up. Wait, yeah. That's right, yeah.
Why do I sound young or something?
No, dude, not at all. So,
Harry, why'd you respond like that? I'm sorry.
Not at all.
I'm sorry, Jordan. Why?
Can somebody get this guy a map?
Shut the hell up. What did Donald Trump do for the economy?
I mean, the economy was thriving.
Why?
Interest rates were low.
Why?
Well, you guys want to go to policy, and I agree that he didn't put a lot of policy in, but he enforced the things that were there, like the border.
Okay, yeah, but
less immigrant.
But the thing is,
what did he do for the economy? Just quickly, what did he do for the economy?
I mean, the economy was booming under him. It crashed under Biden.
What did he do to help the economy?
Oh, tariffs. He kept jobs here.
Yeah, right. Now Chris is going to speak for 10 hours. God love you. I'm going to go get more water while he does this shit.
Guys, here we go. Chad already knows. You mentioned the tariff word, man. I'm going to go ahead Yo, Jordan, tell me why tariffs are good. How do they work?
Because it keeps jobs here.
Why?
Because if not, companies would take their jobs because they have cheaper labor in other countries.
Okay, so like,
So when
why?
you put
like
tariffs in,
so what is like the inherent economic benefit, or how does a tariff work? I guess. Thank you for that. Like, I understand the
we know
goal
how a
of-
tariff works. So like, say if like a company takes their product down to Mexico and makes it, a tariff would tax them when they ship it back to America.
So if a company wants
When
to
we bring it in.
right, so if a company wants to ship something from China to the United States, there's now a tax placed on who?
It would be placed on China, which you say would be a trickle down effect where the customer would have to pay more money. But I would disagree in a lot of instances because the jobs stay here.
So why would China sending us money to send us goods cause jobs to stay here?
What do you mean by China sending us money?
Well, you just said the Chinese company would be taxed to send us a good.
No, the American company. So like, say if you have an American company and they
Right.
put their goods in China and there's a tariff on the goods coming over,
Okay.
then that would keep the jobs here in a lot of industries.
Okay. So let's back up a second. So that's not, so tariffs are paid by the person importing. So if the United States imports a good from China, the tariff is paid by the US business in the United States. So it's never the exporter who's paying the tariff. We can't force a company overseas to pay an extra tax. US businesses pay an extra tax to get goods.
You can make everything cheaper. So why don't all these companies send all their plants over there? That's what they want to do. But
Wait,
putting the tariffs on it keeps them here, or
but-
incentivizing them to stay here.
But I'm not understanding how that is. Like, I think you're misunderstanding how tariffs work. So again, it's like a tariff is placed on U.S. businesses in the United States. The tax is paid by U.S. businesses to the U.S. government. So, you know, like we're trying to do
Yes.
things like protect consumers, et cetera. So like when Donald Trump says things like, if like a company, an auto manufacturer goes and makes a plant in, if an auto, Jesus Christ, sorry, Harry's making me lose my train of thought. The point is,
I'm just sitting here, bro. I'm sitting here
the
doing
point
nothing.
is, yeah, tariffs are paid by the person who is importing the product, aka the U.S. business. So when Donald Trump wants to continue these like very aggressive taxes, like really be aggressive in his next term, like he talks about like putting basically a tariff on everything. Wouldn't that be like a really inflationary policy? Like, wouldn't that be a very bad thing?
No, so I understand what you're saying. So I'll give you a specific example. You take Ford, for example. When you have to pay the laborers up here $40 an hour, but you can have laborers in Mexico working on those lines for, say, $5 per hour. Yes, I understand when they ship the product back from Mexico, Ford has to pay the tax, but it's still cheaper than the labor that they're paying here. So by putting that tariff on it, it makes them want to keep their jobs here or incentivize those companies and give them tax breaks,
Right.
which Democrats are against. But that's how you keep good paying jobs in
Right.
America.
So number one, I mean, yeah, that is that is the goal of some tariffs. But I think that like the thing that Donald Trump consistently lies about is that's not how Donald Trump says tariffs work. Donald Trump constantly says that companies are sending us money to send us goods. China is sending us money, and he'll say they're sending it straight to the U.S. Department of Treasury, which is not true. But even in your conversation, let's say we enact these very aggressive tariffs on all these different countries, like, but would that not be a very inflationary policy?
I mean, I don't believe so. I guess what you're trying to say is you say the consumer, like in my example, Ford will just increase the price of their vehicles and pass it down to the, and that's up to Ford if they want to increase their profit margins, but it's up to the consumer if they want to buy it.
It's
But
actually
overall,
for them. It's actually not for them to increase their profit margin. For them to keep their profit margin the same, they have to increase prices to their consumers. They have to pass the cost somewhere or they will lose profit. So again, that's why like when they did a study at the University of Chicago amongst all of the economists,
at the University of Chicago, every single one said in general, tariffs are an incredibly negative policy that cause inflation. Because again, like Biden enacted a 100% EV tariff on China, right? We want to keep Chinese EVs out of America because they're way better than our EVs and they'll destroy our market. So we want to protect consumers, protect the US workers and businesses from like losing their jobs to Chinese manufacturers. But like in terms of like Trump just suggesting, like he suggested things like replacing income tax with tariffs or enacting tariffs on everything on every country, that would be possibly the most disastrous policy proposal enactment ever. I mean, you're talking about an instantaneous collapse of the U.S. economy. And it doesn't really make sense.
I mean, he put tariffs on before and the economy didn't crash.
Yeah, but he didn't put like, he didn't
I mean, we
put,
disagree on tariffs.
No, but he didn't put like, but the thing is, he didn't put like, he put tariffs on things like U.S. Steel or like when Biden puts tariffs on EVs. Sure, there is instances for tariffs to either protect jobs in the U.S. or to make sure that like we protect our consumers. And some of that is what Trump did. But now he is suggesting an all-out, essentially a tariff on everything. Like, would you disagree when Trump said, like Trump has said now twice, he would replace income. He would be able to have suggested he could replace income tax with tariffs.
I mean, I think we pay too high of taxes as Americans as it is. That's why I would consider myself to be conservative. I want less government. I want less taxes taken out. And I don't want all of these governmental programs that basically create a socialistic world.
But do you, okay, well, do you
I mean, if Democrats keep getting elected, we're going to be paying 50% taxes.
Oh my God. Wait, so do you agree with a proposal like replacing income tax with tariffs?
You'd have to, I haven't looked at all the details of it, but I mean, if it's me paying less taxes, then I would be for it.
Okay, but, right, so like a proposal
I would.
Okay, well, so a proposal.
So no federal tax is what you're saying?
Yeah, so like no one pays taxes and he replaces the income that the federal government needs with tariffs.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Okay, so like again, like that type of policy proposal is like, I would argue the worst policy proposal in American history. You're talking about having to enact a tariff that would make up for most of the federal government's ability to make most of the federal government's earnings, right? Because when the federal government has money, they do things like build roads and infrastructure and fund, the military, et cetera. So now we have to make all that up. So we place like a massive tariff on on everything. All of a sudden, instantaneously, our inflation rate is triple digits. Like you're talking about the local socks you pay at the Target are well above $100. And the people being affected the most by that are low and middle income consumers because they're spending most of their money on products. And so now all of a sudden we have this really high inflation rate.
Who says a pack of socks is going to go to $100?
Well, that's how it would work if you have to. The federal government makes almost all of their income or most of their income from income tax. So if you want to completely get rid of income tax, you have to figure out how you're going to replace that money. So if it's like, oh, we're going to enact tariffs, really aggressive tariffs on everything, all of a sudden, companies are either going to pay that tariff and pass it on to consumers, or they're going to produce things here and it's going to become super, 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 super expensive. It's an inherently inflationary policy. It's kind of built into the idea of tariffs. So again, inflation rates are like triple digits now. And then we have no trading partners. We're alienated. The US dollar is worthless. I mean, the global economy, frankly, has collapsed because there is no US dollar. It's worthless. And then as time goes on, the US government has to like increase tariffs to make up for the fact that more people are producing in the United States and less people are importing. So it's like a regressive policy. I don't know if any of this is making sense, but it's a really bad idea. It's like really bad.
I agree with like some of what you're saying, but at the end of the day, America has a spending problem. We're $5 trillion in debt. I mean, it's ridiculous. We got to stop handing out free cash.
Who are we in debt?
Like the free cash that they're handing out to the immigrants.
wait,
who owns most of our debt?
Who owns most of our debt? $36 trillion.
I'm not exactly sure. Most people think it's China, but it's not. China owns a very small portion. I would assume it's bonds or something.
That's correct, right. So the US public owns most of our debt. But again, like
and how are we ever going to pay it off? We're not.
We're not, but that's okay. That's actually that's inherently not the goal. It's actually good for us to keep increasing our debt as long as we do it at an appropriate ratio to our GDP. It'll cause our economy to grow faster if we have the ability to lend money. Now, there's several problems in that, like the fact that our interest rate is like the federal government is spending more money for the first time ever on interest rates than the military, right? So we have several problems in doing that, but
if we can figure out a way to effectively keep our GDP to debt ratio, which right now is like 100 and I don't know, 10% or something, that can just, those two things can run parallel to each other forever, as long as the percentage stays the same. The goal is to never pay down the debt. It needs to keep increasing forever. It just needs to increase forever at a sustainable level.
See, I would disagree with that. I think America has a spending problem. We need to cut our spending and bring the debt down. I mean, we disagree on that. You want to talk about other topics, why Trump's amazing?
I mean, he brags about sexual abuse like three days, like it was like 2 weeks ago, 3 days ago, Jesus. It was like two weeks ago that he was on stage and he said he didn't sexually abuse a woman because, quote, frankly, she wouldn't have been the chosen one, unquote. How do you feel about that?
He claims he did not sexually assault Eugene Carroll, and that's his opinion.
But then,
he was found liable in a civil court.
But then he's talking about...
I'm not disagreeing with the court's decision.
Okay, but then he's talking about...
There's no DNA evidence. Me and you spoke about this before.
Hold on, but then he's talking about another woman and he says, quote, it didn't happen because, quote, she wouldn't have been the chosen one. She wouldn't have been the chosen one, unquote. So isn't that like a really disgusting thing to say?
I mean, that's how Trump feels, and that's how he talks. I mean, I get what you're saying. He's insulting her by saying, you're so ugly, I wouldn't have chose you. But
he's also said, not only saying that, but he's also suggesting that he would have sexually abused someone if they were prettier.
He didn't say that.
It quotes, frankly, it didn't happen, and they're going to, it's something, this is the quote. It didn't happen, and they're going to be upset because I say this, but it's the truth. It didn't happen because she wouldn't have been the chosen one, unquote.
Correct. How would you feel if, I mean, Trump believes that he's innocent and didn't do it. How would you feel if people were making claims against you?
Well, but the thing is, you're comparing me to...
God forbid he insults her.
Okay, yeah, but you understand, like, again, this is the president of the United States, right? So I'd really, like, hold a higher standard when you're talking about really just women in general, right? I mean, he's on audio as well saying, when you're this rich and famous, you don't have to wait. You can grab them by the blank. You don't have to wait. You don't have to ask.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know the context. I mean, these are like the liberal talking points. I do know that
there's like a 5 minute. There's a 5 minute. You don't know. There's a 5 minute audio clip. Okay.
I know what you're referring to. You're referring to the one he was in the trailer at the. Yeah, you don't know if that was consensual. You don't know if that was his girlfriend or wife at the time or whoever.
He was talking to another dude. He said, "quote When you're this rich and famous, you don't have to wait. You don't have to ask." Is that? I'm just asking you if that's like a disgusting thing to say.
I get what you're saying. Like, it's not the most appropriate thing to say. He wasn't president at that time.
Okay, yeah, but again,
but you don't know the context of it. If he's talking about his girlfriend or his wife.
But this is also somebody who, no, he's talking about being like a famous person.
I get what you're saying.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying like, like he's talking about just being a famous person and that like you don't even have to wait to touch women. But again, this is like the president and he has like a lot of influence. So I think that there's like a lot of dudes who feel very empowered to make really disgusting decisions around women, touch them any type of way, because I mean, why not? The president of the United States was found liable for sexual abuse, brags about it. He's on audio, and I mean, he got away with it. He's neck and neck. It'll probably be one of the closest elections ever, and we're 50 days out. I mean, he got away with it. Why can't I? Right? I think that like these things have like really like real effects on people's lives that are really dangerous.
So you think that a man who is planning on essaying a woman is going to be like, I'm going to do it because Trump got away with it and did it?
I think it's possible that...
And that's your theory?
No.
Yeah, I think it's insane that you would say that. If you create a culture of this, and that culture is stemming from the president of the United States of America, then absolutely. Right?
Yeah, this culture from what?
What was that?
A culture of Americans?
Yeah, so if we have a culture in this country where, you know, maybe men feel as if they can get away with assaulting women, and that culture is created and spoken upon positively by the president of the United States and justified by the president of the United States, that's a problem, because our kids grow up looking to the president as like a role model, right? And if Trump is up there saying, yeah, well, you know, she wouldn't be the chosen one to assault, or, you know, I wouldn't have assaulted Eugene Carroll because she's not my type, or just generally having all these accusations against him, that's not a good thing. And that can inspire other men who look up to Donald Trump or look up to the president because they're just kids to be like, well, you know, if Donald Trump can do it, so can I.
Yeah, I don't believe that. And at the end of the day, like Trump says he didn't assault these women, and imagine if truly he didn't, how would you feel that you have to deal with these attacks? Like, any rich billionaire deals with people filing civil lawsuits all the time.
To be clear, very influential figures in society cannot inspire people to act in certain way by their own actions and the way they talk about certain things. Is that the claim? Really?
You're twisting it. He's not. You're the one making the claim, and I'm saying Trump is not inspiring
Jordan,
people to essay women.
You're saying he's not. So I'm saying that my claim is I think that very influential people in society can influence how people think about something and how people act, depending on what the topic is and what they're speaking about, how they're speaking about it. Your claim is that, I don't think that Donald Trump speaking about sexual assault in the way that he has and acting in the way that he has, would inspire anybody to do anything.
Yeah, I agree. Like, this is just basic, like,
you believe that he should talk in a you believe that he should talk in a more professional manner. I believe that's why he appeals to many Americans.
Dude, this is not about speaking professionally. This is about not bragging about sexually abusing women, not talking about women in such a horrible way.
He's not bragging. He's claiming he didn't do it.
Yes, he is. That is bragging, in that he's on audio in an entire audio tape talking about when you're this rich and famous, you don't have to wait, you don't have to ask. Again, this is like basic human psychology. Like, you're telling me that if you don't know if you
talking about his girlfriend or wife.
Wait, hold on. First of all, I just want to make this clear that not only is he talking to another man about the things he does with certain women, but number two, I just want to be clear here that sexual abuse and rape can still occur in a marriage or in a relationship, right? This is about consent, and he specifically says, "quote." You don't have to wait when you're this rich and famous. You can just touch them, that is the definition of sexual abuse. And again, this is just basic like human psychology, right? If you owned a company and there's all this talk, like people know these things, like you build a company, you build company culture. If you were in an office with 10 other people and you found out that one of your employees was telling other employees that, because he's so sexy and beautiful, he can just touch women any type of way, I think you'd fucking fire that person. I think if you found out the CEO of a company talked like this, they would be fired by the board. Get the hell out. This is not the company culture we're building, right? This is very basic things. This is all about, again, this is the president of the United States.
I agree that S.A. and R is wrong.
Do you think that
100%, but you don't know the context of what she was talking about.
Brother. What?
Do you know if he was talking about his girlfriend, his wife at the time?
It doesn't matter, dude. First of all, he also wasn't talking about his girlfriend, or I think the woman has actually been identified as to who he was talking about in the Hollywood Access tape. I don't remember her name. I can pull it up for you if you'd like. But it also doesn't matter if he's talking about his girlfriend, his wife, or a stranger. He's saying, I don't even wait, I just do it. He's describing sexual assault.
Have either one of you had girlfriends? Like, do you ask them hey, can I kiss you? Or you just kind of feel the moment?
Jordan, bro.
Maybe that's what him and his partner are into. I'm not judging his life.
Jordan. Hold on a second. I want to say a few things. Number one, the Hollywood Access tape was referring to an Ariane Zucker, who was an American actress and model. And he was about to meet her. He was in this trailer or whatever. And first he's talking about a failed attempt to seduce Nancy O'Dell, who was Bush's co-host. When he's talking about Ariane, he says, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet, just kiss. Quote, I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the blank. You can do anything. Quote, I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. So again, this is him talking about another actress and just flat out saying it's okay to sexually abuse women. And number two, so I think when you're in a relationship, I
don't believe that's
what?
I'm against SA. I'm against that, but you don't know the context of it. We can go round and round. I'd rather talk about other issues.
Can I just point out something that this is our entire argument? If this were anybody else, if this were not Donald Trump, you would be like, yeah, that's really fucked up. Why would they say that? But since it's Donald Trump, you're defending his rhetoric and what he said here. This is our entire argument around how very influential people can affect how people look at and talk about sexual assault. Right, with Donald Trump right now, if he wouldn't have said this and wouldn't have done this and this was not Donald Trump, you'd be like, yeah, that's wrong. But with Donald Trump, the guy saying it, you can't just be like, yeah, that's wrong. You have to be like, well, we don't know the context. We don't know this. We know the context. He's saying it. We heard him say that.
There's the audio tape's pretty long.
And also,
Yeah, you can repeat the quote. There's no context. You don't know if he's talking about his girlfriend or somebody that he's in a relationship with, or his wife.
He's not talking about his girlfriend.
He's not, dude. There's you understand? I'm just reading.
You're
this.
assuming who he's talking
No,
about.
Jordan. He is explicit.
I'm agreeing with you. SA and R is wrong.
No. I'm Jordan. The
Not when it's
audio
Donald Trump,
clip
though,
itself
apparently.
is much longer. I'm trying to shorten it. But again, this audio clip is very long. It's very clear who he's talking about. I can start reading all of
Okay, so if he's talking about the woman that you're talking about, you said her name, Ariana or whatever
Yes.
the name was. Did she file a criminal or civil suit against him?
No, Jordan, this is not about the legality.
Did you
of
call
it.
her and ask her if it was consensual?
Jordan. First of all, the woman he's talking about, he had not yet met.
You create whatever narrative you want.
Jordan, can I finish?
See,
Hold on, can I say two things, please? This is not about the fucking legality. Your bar for president of the United States, frankly, is in the ground. I'm just telling you that based on these quotes, it's not about if he did something illegal. It's about basic human decency. And I would expect that our bar for president is higher than basic human decency. I'm not talking about how you would react or I would react. When Donald Trump is found liable and accused of sexual abuse and he's on his own social media site at 2 and 3 in the morning, spamming. This is why he was also found liable for defamation. He's spamming 40, 50 posts in an hour in the middle of the night talking about where this woman lives, the type of person she is, how ugly and disgusting. That is not the character I want for Donald Trump. I don't give a fuck if it's something my next door neighbor would do. I don't want that type of character for president of the United States, right? I think most people I meet do not fit the character of president of the United States. I would hope you think the same. I would hope you think that me and Harry, for example, are not fit to be president of the United States. Number two, and again, it doesn't make a difference if it's your, it doesn't make a difference if it's your, again, the context of who he's talking about. And I understand what you're saying about like it being in a relationship, but I would recommend that most times you engage with a woman in a sexual manner. And I'm being dead serious about this, that even though I get it, I understand it's the consent is inferred. Just don't infer it, right? There's a point where you look at somebody and say, is it okay that I'm doing this? Is it okay if I take this off? Is it okay if we continue going? I think that's a good thing to do. I think that's generally good. You should make sure other people are comfortable in the scenario that they are in, regardless of what relation they are to you. I understand what you're saying, consent being inferred, but I do think that's something that you personally and every dude watching should probably just enact when you go about these activities.
So just to be clear, if you've been with a man or a woman, you've been like, hey, can I kiss you? Hey, can I take your shirt off?
No,
hey, can I take your pants off? Every single step of the way you ask?
Jordan, I'm not, that's not, I understand what you're saying.
That's what you just said. You asked if I can take it off.
Jordan, I'm not talking
I understand
about,
what you're saying about consent.
I'm not trying to like, let's not like straw man,
record,
right?
yes.
I'm not trying to suggest that like, right? Well, yes, but I'm not trying to suggest that like, it's so, I get it. There's like a lot of things that are inferred, but yes, if I I have had sex in my life and before I take off somebody's right. He said, can I get a
Can we get a fact check on that right there? I don't think it's true.
No, but yeah, like most times. Yeah, like I get it.
I don't need to know about your sex life. But.
No, I know. I'm just telling you.
Chris, we don't need to know, bro.
It's all good, bro.
Yeah.
Can we talk about some other issues?
Bro, oh my.
Like
Wow,
to American
really
citizens?
have like
Not your
you
sex
didn't even
life?
let me finish my fucking point. All right then.
No, go.
No, it's fine. It doesn't
No,
matter.
you have to keep, you can't just leave that out there. You can't
Jordan
leave,
asked me a question. I'm trying to answer.
dude, you can't leave that hanging. You have to
I
finish
know.
what you were saying.
I'm trying to answer seriously, which is yes,
ahead,
I get
go ahead.
I
I'm
get
sorry.
it.
I
It's the
shouldn't
heat of the
joke about it.
moment.
I'm sorry.
But I get it. It's the heat of the moment. But if I'm taking off somebody else's pants, normally I'm like, hey, is it okay if I do this? Yes, it's okay. And then we can keep going. It's very simple. It takes like 1 second.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
literally
so
not
let me
that
ask you a
hard.
question,
It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
No, I agree with asking for consent. I've done it personally. But like at what point, like say you're dating a partner and they walk
I don't
into the
think that
bedroom
if you-
after a long day and they're naked, you're going to ask them?
Well, just because somebody's undressed doesn't mean that they want to engage in conduct, right? But also,
But do you think the majority of people do that?
do I think the majority of people do what? Lay in bed,
Verbally
or
ask for consent?
Like, look, here's the thing. I think that if you're dating somebody, you have a partner, and you want to hold their hand. I don't think you have to be like, may I hold your hand every single time, right? I don't think you have to be like, I don't think you have to be ridiculous.
Have you ever held a girl's hand?
No, I've never done that. But if you're engaging in like intercourse with somebody, even if they're your partner, I think that in that instance, asking for consent is a good thing. And it doesn't have to be like, by the way, you don't have to go like every step of the way. You can just be something
I
like,
agree with you.
Wait. You can just be like, are you okay with continuing? Are you okay with keeping, want to keep going or something like that? You don't have to be like, oh, can I like unbutton and then unzip and things like that, right? It doesn't have to be like every single thing. It can just be a general, feelers.
I want to
Just
say
put
for the
feelers out
record,
there.
I was ready to move on with this conversation until people interrupted me. I had like 3 more words that were going to come out of my mouth and we could have moved on.
Well, you were lying about stuff, so
I probably was.
this guy.
No,
this
Harry,
guy-
I swear to God, I've had sex before.
dude, he literally is not true.
It's not.
So
Yeah, I
You
just
talk
think
about
Anyway, all
unpresidential.
this, I think it's bad that Donald Trump
We're not
brags
running
about
for
sexual.
president.
I think it's bad that Donald Trump brags about sexual abuse. How do you feel that he
not
tried?
you.
How do you feel that he tried to like overturn an election he didn't win? With evidence he didn't win it.
He never tried to overturn an election. He held a peaceful. If I may finish, he held a peaceful rally. The people went to the Capitol. He's not responsible for their actions, and he's allowed to call down to Georgia and been like, "Hey, find me legitimate,
No.
11,000 votes or whatever."
No, you're not allowed
But
to do
you
that.
keep controlling the narrative.
You are not allowed to submit a.
You can't
fake
call down and be
salt-
like, "Hey, can you
No.
double check?"
So he
this?"
doesn't.
If you're
know.
asking
He doesn't-
if you're asking state officials to find you votes so you can win an election, that's what we call engaging in a conspiracy to defraud the American people, or specifically the people of Georgia.
Yeah. So Jordan, what about him? Like again, like not just.
He'll have his day.
Yeah. So we can talk
Yeah.
about January 6th too, but like I'm curious if you know anything about like him sending groups of.
Oh,
fake
I don't want.
him sending groups of fake electors to states like Georgia, where he like again there's like a group of electors who like have documents to certify, hey, Georgia was won by Joe Biden, but instead he sent like a group of just random people with a fake document, which I'm more than happy to pull up pictures up that are in the indictment, when they were like, hey, we're the rightful electors for Georgia. Here's this fake document stating that Donald Trump won. And 18 people have been indicted in Georgia, multiple of them pleading guilty, and Donald Trump's facing a RICO charge. So yeah, he also filed 60 federal lawsuits and 61 federal lawsuits in court and lost 60 of them. I think he tried every single legal and illegal action to overturn the election. Do you think that there's evidence that the election was stolen?
I haven't seen no evidence, no. But he'll have his day in court. I'd rather talk about other issues.
Wait, hold on, just really quick, because this is
you
kind
talk
of
about.
Wait, this is kind of fundamental. Like you said that you haven't seen evidence, so you don't believe the election is stolen. Do you agree that Donald Trump still believes the election was stolen from him?
I believe it was stolen, but there's no evidence of it. I'm entitled to my opinion as an American citizen.
What? Wait, hold on.
And
Then
I
why do you
believe,
think
I
it's
believe that
stolen?
fairies exist. Glad we had this conversation.
Then why do you think it's stolen? If there's no evidence for what you believe, then why would you believe it?
Well, my phone's about to die, but you have to look at the voter count. So if you look at Trump and Hillary in 16, it was like 65, 62 million. Hillary had more of the popular vote. If you go back to Obama and whoever it was in 2012, then all of a sudden in 2020, Biden gets 81 million votes.
dude, there was like
Trump
a
gets
lot of
74.
Population increses and voter participation was like heightened because there was so much attention toward politics.
Yeah, so in this election, the candidates are going to get 90 and 100 million if it goes up proportionally the same.
Maybe the voter totals will go up. Who knows?
Yeah, Jordan, I want to make you like think about something.
What I believe.
But before you go, I really want to make you think about this. You believe that the U.S. government is sophisticated enough to steal an election and get away with it, but they're not sophisticated enough to just change the numbers.
Yes.
So so you believe they're sophisticated enough? They're so deep, such a deep.
Can I give an example of how they're sophisticated?
Hold on. Can I finish? No, because this is the question I'm posing you.
My phone's going to die, but.
Okay, this is the question I'm posing you to think about. They're so sophisticated that they can overturn an election and go through all those hoops, but they're not sophisticated enough to change the voter data that they give you. Why couldn't have they just changed the numbers and been like, guys, the outcome was the same as 20, as 20, or the number of people voting was the same as 2020. There are no discrepancies. Like you're arguing right now, well, it doesn't make sense how so many more people voted. If they're so complex, why couldn't have they just changed that number?
Okay, so what I believe happened is the mail-in ballots. I believe they went to the 7 pivotal swing states, and they stuffed the ballot. But you talk about the American government going against its own people. They're the ones that brought and flew in the C word, that's a DRUG, into this country and literally got caught doing it.
Okay, again, like
to spend money for the content and everything else.
I'm arguing that
you denying that?
Yeah. So no. So again, like we're on like different logic trains, Jordan. I'm trying to like challenge your logic. It doesn't make sense to me how you think the U.S. government is so sophisticated they could steal an election, but they're not sophisticated enough to change basic voter information that is given to the public, so people like Jordan think it's stolen. That makes no sense. Like, you know how people on the right
you
are
realize
like,
the mail-in votes literally had your
Jordan, people on the right are like, oh my God, look at 2 a.m. There was all these voter dumps. Like, why do you think the U.S. government is sophisticated enough to steal it, but they're not sophisticated enough to like spread it out instead of putting it all at 2 a.m.? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, his phone died. He's gone.
Right.
Because Chris just keeps fucking yapping at this guy.
Well, I'm sorry. I the logic of some people just pisses me off.
No, it's okay. I was just joking.
Wow, man. I feel like I got flamed this live.
You didn't get flamed.
Nah, you're flaming me like you didn't. He said that's not true. No, that was funny. That was funny, but we could have finished up. We could have just like two more words.
Okay, wait, just for the record. So Chris can make fun of me for that and saying that's never happened. When I do, it's offensive, and he feels like he's been flamed.
I've never done
this guy's
that.
a snowflake, actually. Who's this? I want to see if this person comes up.
Dude, I gotta go to Twitch. It's already 1 at 20.
Yeah, I gotta go do Peloton.
Guys, I'm going live on Twitch right now. You can check the link in my bio. But before you do, Harry posted a YouTube video about the fact that the Trump campaign and Trump personally attacked Harry Sessions. You guys should go watch it.
There's a link in the bio. Watch it. How'd you know that? How'd you know that was a video I posted?
Because I saw it in my notifications and I watched it.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm a good dude. You guys should go to Harry's most recent YouTube video and tell him why you're voting for Kamala Harris and what state. If you don't feel comfortable what state, just tell him like why. What are you passionate about? Like I'd write, I'm passionate about saving democracy, and you write your own thing, and we all have fun. Woohoo!
And Chris can be very upset over. Never mind, bro.
Over what, bro?
No, it's all good, bro. You'll be all right.
No, go ahead, say it.
You'll stay safe, all right?
No, go ahead, say it.
No, you'll be all right now. You'll be all right.
No, go ahead.
No, you'll live, dude. Who should we raid? You should go raid Chris's Twitch stream. He's going live right now on Twitch.
Guys, this is amazing. Chris is live on Twitch right now.
So never mind. Just work that back. We're going to go raid Parker. So you should definitely go check out Chris's Twitch live stream. He's going live right now.
What do you think we should react to? Like there's a lot. Should we do Trump speech, Kamala Harris speech?
Yeah, so that's actually how he talks on the Twitch live stream for the entire time. So if that you don't really fuck with that, you probably shouldn't.
Should we watch the 2012 presidential debate?
Harris with Oprah. That's what you should watch.
We'll start with that. What time do you think you'll be on NCAA?
Well, I Peloton for let's go 45 minutes. And then I'll be 2, and then I have to. Because I'm just like fucking ginormous. I got to hit some legs. Probably take me like 30 minutes. So, and then I'll shower, and then I'll probably be on at like 2:30 ish.
Wait, how'd you go from getting done with legs at 2 or getting done with Peloton at 2, and then you have to do legs and then shower, and it's 2:30? Wouldn't it be like 3?
I don't like this guy. Somebody get this guy out of here. All right? I don't want to talk to this guy anymore.
No, man.
Nah, well, yeah, I'll be somewhere around that. I'll be like 3 or 2. What?
Yeah.
Are you scared you don't want to lose on NCAA?
Buddy.
By the way, for the record, this guy every night, let's play NCAA, and then he runs. Like tonight, I guarantee he's gonna run later tonight, and you'll watch.
I'll put my life on it.
Sleep. All these motherfuckers.
Harry, I'll make a bet with you right now. Not only will I play NCAA, but I'll put $500 on it.
Yeah, by the way, Chris owes me like, I think $400 right now after going double or nothing on.
You just made that number up.
Bro, you lost $100 the other day on NCAA, and I said, okay, pay up. I'm not actually going to make Chris pay. I wouldn't want to steal from him. It's like taking candy from like a child. Honestly, it's not right. And then he said triple or nothing. And then
I hate how you fucking talk like Trump. Guys, when I play video games with Harry or I talk to him on the phone, he talks just fucking like this. He's like literally
it's so
Harry,
false,
Harry
dude.
cannot talk seriously without talking like Trump. It's like genuine.
Bro, this guy's lying, dude.
He said, yeah, no, I'd beat him. I mean, I can't do that. It's like taking candy from a baby. What a terrible thing. I mean, it's just too easy.
This guy's not. This guy just.
I like this TikTok. It's very 2016.
Harry, make some non-political content. You know, that's why I'm going to put the Snapchat in bio, everybody. Snapchat in bio. Sorry.
Wait, is your Snapchat actually in your bio?
No, I'm probably going to put it there sometime soon.
Why?
Because I have like a creator account. I feel like that's like a cool place to be.
Jack and Piper's mom, thank you so much for $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much from the bottom of my heart.
You think I just told this guy that I hate him? I mean,
Aspirin Fund for explaining how life works to MAGA. No, I thank you so much. I literally think I'm going to become like Advil's biggest customer here shortly because I just can't I can't do this. Alexandra, thank you so much for $2. Love from Gwinnett. Let's turn Georgia blue. Yo, Alexandra, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being in Georgia and voting blue. We fucking love that. Hell yes. If you ever see me around, sometimes I'm at the Battery. I'm watching the Braves. I say, go Braves.
And sometimes he's, well, I won't, you know. Evelyn, thank you for the $50 saying, Harry, you're the man and keep doing what you do. I appreciate you. You might find Chris behind your local Arby's in Atlanta. He typically resides there sometimes. Evelyn, can we get some W's for Evelyn in the chat? At least a minimum of 50 W's. That's crazy. I appreciate Evelyn with the $50. That's crazy. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Avery, thank you for the $1. Because of you, I've gotten so much better at political debates and I'm able to use your arguments. Thank you so much, Harry. We love you. Avery, we love you too. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that. Jack and Piper's mom, thank you for the $10, saying thank you for all that you do. I'm trying to get my Trumper friend Amber to watch you for just 5 minutes a night. She just found out last night that Trump was friends with Epstein. That should be like the final straw for many people, but it's not, unfortunately. So... make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. We do use lives all the time.
Are you seeing my text messages?
Let me bullet it now.
I'm really trying to help you out. I'm trying to help you, bro. I didn't do the work. You got to do it.
This guy, can you like go? I don't know what the username. Because if you see it, can you like let me know?
Yeah.
This guy's coming in clutch. I can't even cap.
I try. I mean, it might not be successful, but I try.
Well, you know, sometimes, you know, Chris, what did Michael Jordan say?
He said he, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that dude was like gambling millions of dollars and I don't know. Don't worry about that.
When I'm scrolling up in the comments trying to find it, I can't find it. I think this guy lied to me. Dude.
I swear to God. I swear to God. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, Harry.
All right. Bye, everybody. Say bye, Chris. Actually, oh, wait, I got to say goodbye. I post on every single social media platform. I post on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok, all under the username Harry J. Sisson. Those links are in my bio. Also, drop a follow on TikTok if you haven't already. Make sure to have a great day tomorrow. It's Friday, end of the week. Do something you enjoy tomorrow, whether it be sleeping in, reading, eating food, seeing people, whatever it is. Enjoy your day tomorrow. Have a great day tomorrow. You're going to... Sorry, I'm hiccuping. I drank too much water too fast. Have a great day tomorrow and power through, all right? And we'll talk soon, yeah? And then go say hi to Chris on Twitch and all those amazing people. All right, everybody. Appreciate y'all. We'll talk soon, okay? Adios.
The numbers are